too big for the screen.
It's perfect on my end.
Okay, that's good. I'm waiting for people to come in. We're going to talk about something very important. The children. Something people don't like to talk about. Why aren't children the main focus in the so-called black community? And why are we allowing these inorganic species that don't biologically and genetically identify with us or the planet psychologically, medically evaluate our children? Why do we allow them near our children? It doesn't make sense. Every natural species in nature knows to live within their own species, to teach their own species. You don't see a lion going to a elephant to learn how to be a lion. So why we are solar beings, because that's what our genetic makeup says that we are, going to animal DNA, mixed DNA people to learn about life when these people are only 6,000 to 7,000 years old. That doesn't make sense to me. So everybody coming in, tap and share the live. Y'all see what's on the screen. Species. Go ahead, Tree. Tell us your age, name, and so-called race, and what brought you up here.
I am Tree. I'm 20 and I am white. And I came up here because I don't quite understand what you're trying to say here, so I just want to gather a little bit more before I talk on it.
What I'm trying to say is that we're not all the same species. It says it on the screen. We never went from haploids to diploids. You see what I'm saying? Y'all never came from us. We never had a common ancestor. Our genetic, biological makeup is completely different than yours. Our whole microbiome is different than yours because we have two different cell types. So this is what I'm saying. And I'm also saying, why are we allowing your species to medically and psychologically evaluate my species when we're two different organisms?
So, what do you mean, my species and your species?
We are two completely genetically different organisms. And we can
Okay,
clearly
let me
see
say
that.
one
We
thing.
can, hold on, we do one at a time here. And we can clearly see that by our phenotype, which is determined by your genetic makeup. And our genetic makeup is different because our phenotypes are different. Your genetic makeup is just the melanin, it's just describing the melanin that you have. And there's multiple different types of melanin that your scientist doesn't want to admit. And we have two different types of melanins. Our melanin is neuromelanin. That's what constructs my body. Pheomelanin is what constructs your body. But the problem is you got here through electrical fusion because you have multiple animal DNA that cannot naturally reproduce with each other inside of your whole organism. So how did that happen? Because y'all didn't come from us. So-called black people, we don't produce animal DNA or protein enzymes. You see what I'm saying? Y'all do though.
So,
This is what I'm saying.
are you trying to say that people with a darker skin are a different species?
It's not about skin color. It's about what makes up that skin color. This whole time I've been speaking to you, I've been talking about genetic makeup, our biological makeup, and how it's completely different. My biological and genetic makeup is helium, oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen. That's it. That's my molecular makeup. Your molecular makeup is sulfur and ammonia. We are two different species.
That does not make us different species.
So how do you differentiate species in nature? Can you answer that question?
Is this a serious question?
How do you differentiate species in nature?
I'm out. Is this a
I
serious
can
question?
I
Hold
answer
on,
it?
one at a time. I want you to answer that question. And if you can, we have a next guest that is very eager to speak. So you better answer the questions and stop trying to deflect. We trying to have a conversation here on why you're not saying why you're saying that we're the same. So if we're the same, explain to me on the biological and genetic makeup how we're the same.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so it is serious. Okay, so biological species concept, genetic differences, morphological differences, ecological, phylogenetic. That those are the main differences, I would say. The fertility of offspring. Yeah, that's how we
Well,
know.
how do we go from hapless to diploid?
I can't tell you off the top of my head, but you're still wrong in saying that
No,
we're a
because
different species.
yeah, someone else said they're wrong. Exactly. You over here Googling trying to tell me I'm wrong. And scientists actually, you know why you can't answer that? Because scientists don't know how we went from being prokaryotic cells, being autotroph people in a hot environment, now moving into a colder environment, and now having mixed animal DNA inside of my organism. And now I need DNA from different organisms to sustain life on the planet. That's not how our species used to be. And scientists don't know how we went from that to that. So you're just saying things that you're Googling and you are not equipped for this conversation. So with that being said, I'm gonna have to move on to the next guest.
So you don't.
Go ahead,
You're being
Toran.
willfully ignorant.
We can come back to you, but right now you haven't said how we're the same
I
biologically
just
and
said
genetically.
the morphology,
How do we morph?
ecological
How do we morph
niches,
into you though?
the phylogenetic trees.
How do we morph into you? That's my question.
Phylogenetic trees. What do you mean? How did we morph into? What are you trying to say by that?
Because we're two genetically and biologically different species. So how you're saying we
How?
morphed?
What do you?
We
Because you
morph.
have
How do
different
we morph
skin
into you?
color.
I'm not gonna speak over you, bro. How do we morph into you? Answer that question, or I'm gonna have to move on to the
It's
next
a
guest.
stupid question. What are you trying to ask?
All right. If it's a stupid question, then get off the panel.
Who is we?
Go
Who is
ahead.
we?
Go ahead,
Okay,
Toran.
Y'all are
okay.
stupid, bro. This
Can
shit.
two different species interbreed, right? Can a cat have a baby with a dog?
Can a cat have a baby with a dog?
Yeah, does that work?
If they were introgressed, yes.
Yeah, but so it doesn't work, right?
Unnaturally. You know that there's
Yeah.
unnatural there's species that can unnaturally mix, right? You see what I'm saying? And there's a process called
But
introgression.
that's more of a
And
subspecies
hold
thing.
on, because you want to bring up the fact that we mixing with them and we could produce offsprings. Now we're the same species. That's false. There's a process called introgression, which is done through hybridization. You see what I'm saying? Which allows two species to genetically mix, and it allows the one species to overcome the other species reproductive barriers. You see what I'm saying? This is facts. You see what I'm saying? When we first came into contact with y'all chemically, y'all wiped out two continents filled with multiple countries alone with your reproductive systems, and you wiped out multiple other countries with your reproductive systems alone because you were giving our women hemolytic disease and zoonotic disease. And this is a fact. Why would two species in nature that are genetically and biologically the same procreate with each other and now giving each other zoonotic disease? That doesn't happen. Or hemolytic disease. That doesn't happen. But that happens with us and that happens with y'all importantly because y'all are not the same amongst yourselves, which is called incomplete dominance. Every time y'all procreate with each other, y'all creating a whole new species because y'all are spliced with all these different animals that have no biological ties to each other or genetic ties to each other. You see on the screen right there. You asking me this question. Let me ask you these questions. How did a cat and a dog get together to make you? How did that happen?
That's not
We
possible.
don't
That's
see that
exactly what I'm
happen. We
saying.
don't see that happening today. We
I'm
never see
literally a
that
mixed
happen
race
ever.
person.
Hold on.
I'm literally a mixed race.
We don't see that. Yeah. We don't see that happening. We don't see that happening today. We don't see that happening ever. You see what I'm saying? How did that happen? The only explanation for that is genetic splicing, which is what they're doing today called CRISPR-Cas9. They're doing that to your genetics. You see what I'm saying? They're creating new hybrids with you in labs today. They know they can't do that with us. They can only spark it with us because our genetics, you cannot splice into our genetics. Our genetics is coded in UV light, which is what they use to cut into genetics. But for you, your genetics are recessive. So they cut into yours. So we're not the same species.
He thinks because he's mixed, he doesn't understand that you're only mixed. There were no mixed race before the 12th dynasty, which was only 4,000 years ago, bro.
There definitely
So,
were.
so as
Hold on, she's
no, I'm
speaking.
not. You can literally go look it up. 4,000 years ago, the 12th dynasty is ancient Kemet. Before ancient Kemet, there were no hybrids. There were no so-called mixing. When we first came into contact with these people, they literally wiped out 2 continents alone, plus other countries, just off of venereal disease because their semen was literally toxic to us
Facts.
because we are two completely different species. So the better question is, how did y'all go from being on all fours with hypertrichosis, vestigial tails, and are still being born like that still to this day, to now having bipedalism in less than 10,000 years? And now you're on a panel trying to tell
That's
me
not
that there's no
true.
such thing as
Anatomically,
introgression
modern
when
humans have
introgression
existed
has
for
literally been
200,000
tampered
years.
with since the 9 and 1000s. And it was going on even before that. But I can show you sources now that can prove that this science has been dappled with since the 9 and 1000s. So if you have not done your research on introgression, which is done through hybridization, which is done through repeated background, like this is what makes y'all multicellular and complex organisms, because it's several different fucking science experiments that had to take place for you to even get to how you are today. And y'all are not even the same amongst yourselves. Like y'all don't know nothing about incomplete dominance, genomes, nothing about your fake ass fabricated history and how to align it properly with genetics. Like y'all don't know how to properly research, bro. And then you want to say that's not true, but you didn't know the word introgression until you came in here. Now you want to say it's not true. Be for real, bro.
Facts.
Anatomically, modern humans have existed for 200,000 years or more.
What? I didn't even hear him with that lame ass shit. What?
He's saying
Anatomically, modern humans have existed for 200,000 years or more.
that's false.
According to
That is
what?
true.
History, right? But what does
Fossil
genetics say?
evidence.
What is genetics? What is every climatologist, geneticist, evolutionist? What are all scientists, neurologists, genetic? What are they all saying? Because
They're
not one of
hopefully
them
saying the
can
truth
tell us how we
to
went from
the measure
haploids
that
to
they understand
diploids
it.
or how we went from being mainly prokaryotic organisms to eukaryotic.
That
So
happened like
I'm confused at how you're on a
4
TikTok
billion
panel
years
trying to
ago. What
tell
does that
us,
have to
but
do
your
with the
top
race conversation?
scientists in the
That's not
world have
scientific.
no explanation
You're just
as to
talking about
how the
science.
eukaryotic cell got here. And you
And
sound like you're sitting at a computer Googling too.
and your modern human that you're talking about, they only got here 6,000 to 7,000 years ago. This is a fact. Everybody knows this. The humans, the people that you're talking about were not them. Those were the Neanderthals, the Bigfoot, all of them. Those are also people that were genetically spliced on this planet. And to get to these modern humans, they had to splice, they had to splice, they had to those were the steps that they took. That's their so-called evolution theory that they're talking about. That they were genetically splicing to get to steps to get to the modern human that they have today. You see what I'm saying? That's what happened. So go ahead, my brother Nine Ether. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead and follow his page. You see what I'm saying? He got his page banned. Go ahead, my brother.
What's good, brother? Abundance.
Mhm.
But yeah, I just wanted to speak to Torn for a minute. The reason I know you're a Google warrior, for one, and you still, you and the other guy that was up here before couldn't even answer how we went from haploids to diploids, which I don't even know if you know what that is. You just came up here saying that modern humans came, what, 2,000 years ago? Where did
So,
your people come from?
can I ask a question? Because I do actually want to. So, haploid and diploid, those are the terms for the way that cells procreate, right?
What?
Isn't it? Or am I thinking something else? Can you explain haploid and diploid cells?
Wait, if you don't know the terminology that is being discussed, why would you request up to a panel and then ask us to clarify something that we're arguing
That
with
wasn't
you?
in the. That's not in the prompt or anything.
It doesn't. If you understand the prompt, it very much so is.
Yeah,
I think
it's
part of a
haploid
debate
to
is
diploid.
about
It's in the
explaining your
prompt.
It's the
points.
basis of evolution.
Yeah.
Will you not help me to understand? Is that
No,
not
we're
part of
not
your
gonna
thing?
help you when we're debating. What the fuck? Who the fuck is supposed to help you
I
debate
don't know
when
why
we're
you want.
debating?
I don't know why you
Fuck
want
out of
people to
here,
be
bro.
like.
Can you help me debate you better? Like, what
Like,
the
come
fuck?
on. Can you tell me the facts to
No.
like, come on, bro? No, bro. You
Have
the
a
one who
sense
came
of
up here
mutual
and said we are
understanding.
all this. You the one who came up here and said we are all the same species.
We are.
So if we're all the
Bro,
same species,
What
how
does
do
that
we
have to
go
do?
from?
We're diploid creatures. Everyone.
If we're all the same species, like you're saying we is, how do we go from haploids to diploids? That's what we're asking you. And you just said you don't even know what haploids and diploids are. You're questioning it. When my brother just asked you that, you were questioning it. So you don't even know the base premise of what you're saying. You saying we're diploid? No, we're not. No, we're not diploids. We are not eukaryotic cells. Diploids are directly connected to eukaryotic cells, and we are not that. So-called
exact
black people,
diploids
we
are
are not
new.
eukaryotic cells. Go ahead, my brother. Go ahead.
I was gonna say diploids are new. Like so-called black people been on this planet for
Yeah,
quite
why
some
can't
time,
black
and we
people
were.
flip? Is it because they're monkeys?
We do one at a time. Go. My brother Ether is speaking to Torin, and then we'll get to y'all.
Yeah, I was gonna say like diploids are new. We never had two sets of chromosomes. Nothing prokaryotic has two sets of chromosomes. If you look at bees, wasp, uh, what else? I believe dragonflies too.
Yeah,
They
dragonflies
all
too.
they
Nah,
don't
fact.
have two sets of chromosomes. We don't need that shit. That's because y'all are
That means
spliced with
y'all are
multiple
doing
different types of animals.
bestiality.
Oh,
And all of these organisms that my brother was talking about, all of these organisms have been here for millions and millions of years. You see what I'm saying? They've been here for like a long time. These eukaryotic organisms are new. And the reason why they have multiple different chromosomes because the chromosomes are just this different genetic material that you have from these different animals. That's what it is. The reason
no,
why
I
the
don't
bee
think
has
that's right.
one set of chromosomes is because all of its genetic information stem from one embryological origin, which is the queen bee. Just like so for so-called black people, all of our genetic information comes from the totipotent stem cell of the so-called black woman, which is capable to create a whole organism from a single cell. And it can become any cell in the body. Only the so-called black woman has this. This is genetic facts. These
No,
people
every
don't have
organism
that.
has that.
These people
Every
are not
organism that
100% of
reproduces sexually
anything.
has that.
Hold on. These people are not 100% of anything. You see what I'm saying? A bee is 100% a bee. A lion is 100% a lion. An elephant is 100% an elephant. So-called black people, we're 100% solar beings because that's what our genetic makeup says who we are. You see what I'm saying? The only reason why they try to tie us in with these blood types is because they're only for breeding purposes and they're connected to animal DNA. And we have antigens in our blood, which is what determines blood types.
So
So
you're a
these people are not a
chimpanzee,
hundred.
huh?
Hold on, we'll get to you. We'll do one at a time. These people are not 100% of anything. They're 96% chimpanzee, 80% mouse, 60% pig. All of these different animals that cannot naturally reproduce with each other. That's why you have all these different genetic material, all of these different chromosomes.
You got
Do you
proof,
And
know
brother?
that's
that
why
you sound?
if you look up this all these chromosomes that so-called humans have, look up the disorders that happens with these chromosomes. Look up the diseases that happens with these chromosomes, and then look
It's
up
always the
who it
lookup,
affects.
bro.
Hold on, we do
It's
one at a
always the
time. If
who.
you continue to talk, I'm gonna take you off, and then look up who it affects the most.
It's
Look
always the
up who it
lookup,
affects.
bro. It's
All right, hold on. We gotta. This nigga couldn't tame the fruit fly
Oh,
in part of the brain, so
that's exactly what I was about to say,
Okay,
bro.
like,
What the
guy,
hell?
you know, you keep like, you know what I mean? Shit. But this is
there's
what I'm
something I want to
saying.
say, and
Mhm.
I'm not trying to be like rude or anything here, but you sound exactly like a German race scientist from the 1940s. You should
No,
look at what they're saying. Like
I
they
sound
say
like I
that
know
exact same
genetics,
stuff. Like black people came from.
bro. I don't want to hear who I sound like.
The problem is you don't know what every scientist, historian, climatologist, evolutionist is saying. They're saying that we never went from being prokaryotic organisms to eukaryotic. They're saying that they have no explanation for the eukaryotic cell. They want to know where they come from, and there is no explanation. So that is the reason why evolution is theoretical, because we never happened. Just because there is fact in the theory does not mean that the base premise, evolution, that we evolved, actually happened, y'all. Yes, of course, these people are here, but the question as to how they got here is still unanswered, y'all. The fuck?
That's the problem.
You think it sounds like that because you got this eukaryotic cell that's here. Other than that, we wouldn't even be having this discussion. Come on.
And that's what it shows on the screen. You see that flower in a hot environment, and then the flower in the colder environment. You don't see it change. Just like you see that young star seed over there, that young child over there, and now you see it in a colder environment. That doesn't happen. That's the haploid and diploid. That's what we're talking about. That never happened. So abundance for that conversation and sharing your frequency. If you want to add anything else before we move on to the next guest.
Yeah.
Bro.
All right, go ahead, machine. Tell us your age, name, and so-called race, and what brought you up here.
Well, I thought evolution was a fact, so I guess I have some learning to do. If it's not a fact, if it's a lie.
Tell us your age, name, and so-called race, and then you could tell us what brought you up here.
Don't tell me race.
I am 30 years old, and what else was it besides race? I'm like white and Puerto Rican.
All right, since you want to jump, how do we go from haploids to diploids?
How you gonna listen to another nigga that's not even contributing to the conversation on what the fuck to do on his panel?
Exactly.
Get them both out of here.
That's what I was just saying. Like, how do we go from haploids to diploids?
Shit and can't answer the question and trying to tell us how to run the live. Like, get the fuck.
Facts. I already took the other individual out. I just want you to answer. How do we go from haploids to diploids? Because I really want you to say what you want to say. Go ahead. Just tell us how we went from haploids to diploids. Since you want to jump in, since you're saying evolution is a fact.
Wait, I don't understand those words. It went from half what? Like what? Slow it down a little bit.
Haploids to diploids.
Oh, I don't know what those are. This is why I came up to learn a little.
So this is why I took them off. You see what I'm saying? I had to, because y'all coming up here and talking about, oh, evolution is a fact. This is a fact, is a fact. But when we ask you the base premise of that so-called fact, y'all can't answer. And this is what you're telling my people, and my people are believing this. They're passing it down to the children, and that's what is affecting our generation to come, because our children are the future. And these people that are coming up are the same people who are snatching our children. You see what I'm saying? 8 million children go missing a year. You see what I'm saying? 70,000 from child protection services. How y'all protecting children, but 70,000 get missing right from your hands? And they're mostly our children. I'm not saying they're only black children, but it's mostly us though. That's the problem. You see what I'm saying? Why are we allowing 25 million of our children to get psychologically evaluated by these people in this so-called school, which means skole, to hold back?
Charlatan, man, relax. You're retarded. You have
If I'm retarded, why did you need to come up? Why did you need to come up and
no
say?
clue what you're talking about.
Okay, if I'm retarded, why couldn't you just intellectually debug me or intellectually challenge me instead of trying to use trigger words to get a response out of me? Why did you do that? Because you knew you couldn't intellectually say anything back, or you're not intellectually equipped for this conversation. So you decided to come up here with this trigger word type of language to try to deter me away from the path of my people, which is
You're using fallacies to win arguments.
is the fact that we are two different species. That's the problem.
You're using fallacies to win arguments. You're literally a charlatan. You're the very definition of a charlatan.
I don't want to hear no trigger words. This live is strictly genetics. So can we talk genetics and biology,
Go
or
on,
are you
then.
gonna
Tell
get up
tell
out of
us
here?
tell us how we're a different species.
Tell us how you're on my panel asking me a question, talking about tell us. You, we know we're not
You're
the
the
same
one bringing
species, bro.
forward the claim. You're
Hold
the
on,
both of the
we
proof.
know we're not the same species because our phenotype is completely different, and our phenotype is connected to our genetic makeup. It's connected and determined by our genetic makeup. So if our phenotype is different, that means the inner mechanics of my biology, everything that's happening scientifically in my body is different than yours. This is just a simple analogy we could see. This is a simple thing we could see. So let's not try to say how we you I want you to tell me how we're the same. That's what we want to hear. Because we can clearly see we're different. And we know that we're different. My people, all they need to do is just dive right back into the genetic makeup, and they will understand what this is and who they is. Your people, you're still trying to figure out how you got here. Y'all don't know how you got here. So tell me, how are we the same?
We know how we got here. Your entire
How did you get here?
conclusion is
How did
based
your
on
speed? How did
black.
everybody outside the so-called black race get on this planet? Tell me. And the 62 people on this live, tell us.
Like I said, you're not allowing me to answer. Every time I answer, you just mute it because you know you can get debunked easily with your fallacious arguments.
Yo, just answer the
You're
question,
literally
You're
please.
throwing around the
distinguishing. You're
question, bro. Just answer
distinguishing.
it.
You're distinguishing the very foundation of evolution theory based on pigments. You're the most.
How do we go from haploids to diploids?
He had a violation, so I had to take him off. Everybody type
Yeah, because he said the R word. The
ev-
R word don't know you're not supposed to say that on here.
yep, heavy emojis, F1 in the chat. He said what he said, so that's why I had to get him off. I didn't do any of that. So if anybody disagrees with what this is saying, y'all can come up or he can come back up, but you're gonna have to use TikTok friendly language. They're the ones getting you up out of here. So we are not the same species. And for so-called black people, as today, right now, why are we allowing these inorganic species to psychologically and medically evaluate our children on our planet that we biologically identify with? We got Trump saying, "Oh, these people are not native; they from Siberia," but when we clapping and shit, whole time this nigga not native, and he telling a whole non nigga that's not native to the planet that they're not native to this land.
Both of them not
Both of
native.
not both of them not both of them is not even biologically native to this planet. That's the problem. They don't belong here.
Ants do more for the planet than these niggas, bro. Mushroom do more for the planet than these niggas. If you study nature, you'll see who's really real and who's supposed to be here and who naturally, based off of what's within their genome, is done what they're doing for the earth. These niggas don't do nothing for the planet, bro. Like I always say this, a white tea lady down the street asked me to not have my dog piss in her yard when these niggas share the same fucking genetics. So what is your doing for the piss? What is your piss doing for the planet, ma'am? If you share the same DNA with this animal, what the fuck is your piss doing for the planet? What have y'all done for the planet? Fuck your economy. That's made up. You made that shit up. You're already not conducive. What do y'all do for the planet? Naturally.
Yep, 100% of y'all jobs was built off of our genocide and abuse. And all of
Hey
y'all
guys,
jobs just replicate what nature's doing for the planet. That's it.
Facts.
That's all y'all doing. Y'all don't
Facts.
create nothing. Y'all just copying nature. And all nature stems from us because we are the highest extensions of nature. And if you
hi
don't come from
guys.
us
Can
and
I
you
say
don't come from
something?
a nature, where do you come from?
How are you asking someone a question though while they're talking?
That shit crazy.
We do one at a time here, y'all. There's someone else that was already up here before you. I think his name is Mansabe J. Go ahead and then we'll get to you next, Yazine, because we go in order.
Go ahead, Jay. Jay.
We can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you. I don't know what's going on.
Go ahead, Yazine.
So, what's the life about? What's the topic?
When you look at the screen, what does your neurons tell you? What does your synapses tell you?
I see evolution, that we are somehow related to animals. That's what it says.
It says who's related to animals.
I think we all are.
So-called black people are don't have animal DNA and they don't produce animal protein enzymes. So this is talking about everybody outside the so-called black race and how y'all have animal DNA and y'all have multiple animal DNA that cannot naturally reproduce with each other inside of your organism.
I
So
think that's racist.
how is that racist?
It's the
Hold
same.
on.
It's the same with.
This has nothing to do with racism. This has nothing to do with race. This has nothing to do with skin color. This has to do with what makes up that skin color, the genetic makeup. This is
Melanin,
it.
melanin,
You see what I'm
right?
saying? When
Kind?
yeah, what kind?
What kind?
Just melanin, like people
Oh, there's five
under the
different types of
sun.
melanin. So go ahead and tell us which kind, please.
Well, they're just one type, right? Or
No,
they're
there's
different.
not. No, there's five types of melanin. And it's not
Explain it.
eumelanin. Eumelanin is for, it turns into pheomelanin, and they're both animal melanin. The type of melanin, so called, that black people have is neuromelanin, which is the only molecule that can condense sunlight and is condensed sunlight. It's the literal sun in the flesh. Everybody outside of us has animal melanin.
But the human being is considered an animal, so black people are no different.
So-called black people are not human. You see what I'm saying? We're not human. Like she just said, we're neuromelanin. We are the soul walking in the flesh. So-called black people, we don't have a soul. We are the soul that programs all of our cells in our body. This is why we are
Yes,
prokaryotic cells and we don't have no internal membranes or organelles. Y'all have that because y'all have internal brains, miniature brains, and internal organelles from different animals. That's a fact. And so-called black
no,
people, we don't phenotypically look like no animal in nature. Y'all do. Your
yes,
porcelain-based skin
yes.
shows that. Your hair shows that. Your fur shows that. Let me say that
Y'all
because y'all
also have
experience
fur.
hypertrichosis. And that is, they try to say is that is a condition, but that is just gene expression of the animal DNA, the pheomelanin that you possess. This is facts.
No,
And you saying no, but if you're gonna say no, then you're gonna have to tell me how so-called black people and everybody outside the so-called black race are the same species genetically and biologically. We don't want to
they,
hear the trigger words. We don't want to hear the no this, the maybe that. We don't
but
want to be here the I believe. We want to hear what you know.
okay. Well,
Thank
if
you.
you let
Go
me
ahead and explain
explain,
that to us.
um, like if you look at an evolutionary perspective, all human beings, doesn't matter what race you are, we're all related. We all come from two people. We're all like literally all people come from Africa, right? Hello, you agree?
You just fumbled the
Is
whole
that it?
bag and then said,
No, it's not.
Is that what you're saying? Because
No, look.
so-called
People.
so-called black people don't origin our ancestry or our genealogy doesn't date back to a landmass. So-called
Yo,
black
it comes
people
from Africa. Y'all come from
no.
Africa.
You asked me a question and now you're trying to speak over me while I'm answering that question, which is not how you have a
Because what you're
conversation.
saying is not true.
Because you're too grown to be doing this and 56 people are watching you act out, and I want to tell you, my people, your psychological state is connected to your genes. So when you can clearly see
Also yours. Because
you can clearly see when you
what
share
makes
your
black
genetics.
people more special
Hold
than
on. Okay.
bro, you
When you
what?
talking about special and shit like you're fucking 6 years old, bro. You're a grown man, you know? Like
facts
out of respect, you know what
for
I'm saying?
real.
Like out of like pure respect, bro. Like you don't know how to have a conversation, bro.
Facts.
Like
You could clearly see that all of these animals that you share genetic makeup with are trying to speak at one time, which is why you were not trying to let me finish my point. You see what I'm saying? And nah, he wasn't. He wasn't. I saw his. Yeah, he's not. So the thing is, so-called black people, we don't only originate from one landmass. We are native to all land masses, meaning even outside of this planet, biologically and genetically. All nature stems from us. All natural, organic nature stems from us. This is a fact. You see what I'm saying? And this is why our women and children are going missing at an alarming rate. And I don't see a lot of brothers going live about this. See what I'm saying? I only see a few brothers. We need to be all talking about this, reminding our woman who she is, because that's who brings balance to the species. If she does, if she's not in balance with her mental, spiritually and physically, then there is no balance for the species. This is just how it is. So we got to get back to that. So, oh, the guest left. I really want to hear what he said, but I got my other brother here, Kesame or Case.
Yo, yo, what's
Yeah, what's
good,
good,
panel?
brother? What's good, brother?
Yeah, man. Keep dropping that knowledge, king and queens. You know, it's a beautiful thing, beautiful day. Man, I woke up, I rose up with Ra and breathing this fresh air, and I'm hearing all this knowledge. And man, let me say something, man. Yo, that little ape that was just on here, the last two apes that were speaking, they need to state their purpose of being here, and they need to state what their species is. You know, because they treat the original man and the original woman as if they are not human, or the original being, and that in of itself is um proof that they know who we are, and they know we are different species, because if we were the same species, you wouldn't be treating us the way you treat us. Your only purpose here is to just bring death and destruction. And you know, you're not that intelligent either. You know, most of these apes that's coming up here, you can't even formulate a decent argument. I have yet to hear any of them, especially that last guy, whatever his name was. You couldn't even formulate a decent argument. The last statement he made was, "Aren't all blacks from Africa?" What type of stupid shit you on, bro? Like you don't even know what the word Africa means. You don't know what the word black means, and it's various types of melanin. It's not just one type of melanin. Hell, arachnids, spiders have melanin. You dig what I'm saying? And they produce more for this planet than these apes that are speaking on this live. I'm gonna land my plane until further notice.
Abundance for that, my brother. Abundance for that. Thank you for sharing your frequency. I hope y'all were hearing that because that's facts. You see what I'm saying? So all y'all that disagreeing in the comments, I see y'all. Why don't y'all come up here and let's have a civil discussion on genetics, on our biological and genetic differences, and why are y'all psychologically and medically evaluating our children when we're two different species? And so-called black people, why are we not taking more knowledge of that? Why are we not becoming more aware of that? You see what I'm saying? That these people were just new people. They were just out of caves 7,000 years ago. So why are we allowing that? So thank you for that, my brother. Abundance for that. Go ahead, Ether. Did you want to add anything?
Yeah. I just want to say for the people who are disagreeing, it's like we get on live and we ask y'all the same questions over and over again, and y'all can't answer them. Y'all just want to tiptoe around the question, look up Google definitions, and try to state Google definitions to us as if that's doing anything. Y'all never read a book. Y'all are just in y'all's feelings, and y'all are upset because we are not the same species. But it's clear that y'all don't even like us, but you want us to be the same species. I just don't understand it at all. Like y'all come up here and y'all try to argue and try to say that we have animal DNA, but can't explain how so-called black people have animal DNA. So I really don't understand why y'all And then on top of that, even after y'all get proven wrong over and over again, y'all stay in the comments and whine about it and say that we're racist, hateful, and all of the above. When all you got to do, if you really want to shut us down or whatever, bro, just go read a book. And once you read that book, you'll know that we're right. But y'all don't want to because you're afraid of the truth. That's all that is. Like, there's no sense of arguing in the comments or coming up here trying to use Google definitions. Just go read, bro. It's not that hard. Unless you're afraid to find what we found.
I don't think Torin understands what he's saying. He's saying, my God is compassion. Okay, that's a frequency. And there's several other frequencies that are at that same high vibration as well, like authenticity, which is if you can't move in authenticity, you can't move in compassion or love or know the truth or move in your truth. So you're subscribing more to patriarchy and a fake caste system and a man-made God than the actual frequency itself. That's called having a double mind. So how do you talk about your God and then talk about a frequency? That sounds double-minded as fuck. Isn't that against religion and religious ideology to be double-minded? To have one foot in and one foot out?
Facts. Y'all talking about God will judge us. Like, where's this God now? Where has he been?
Yeah, why did he make you with all fours with hypertrichosis and vestigial tails though? That's what I'm trying to understand. We asking y'all, why are y'all still being born with tails? Why are y'all still having to get your tails cut? Why do y'all share phenotype and genotype with animals? Why do y'all produce animal proteins? Like, come on, we know when y'all get wet what y'all smell like, but there's a genetic and a scientific explanation as to why, and you don't want to have the scientific discussion. You don't even know you emit that smell. That's the thing. We not the same species. My integumentary system is different. You talk about a sixth sense. We have 9 senses. 9 ether beings. Six senses because you were 6. You were created in 6 ethers. This planet is 9 etheric. There is no star or planet, any galaxy, nothing in the cosmos that y'all identify with, bro. These are valid questions. How can a sulfur and an ammonia-based being be conducive to any planet or star? Like, we not thinking. Y'all come in here with feelings. That's the problem.
For real. Y'all come up. We don't want to hear feelings. We want to hear facts. That's what our children deserve. That's what the next generation deserves. You see what I'm saying? That's what that's our future. I don't know. I don't understand why that isn't our main focus. When you look at all organic life in nature, all natural life in nature, their main focus in every species is their children. But we're allowing these species to even breathe next to them, which actually harms them because they're not the same. And these people are not even considered to be alive. They're a little virus that steal and usurp energy and resources from the host. And who's the host? Who's the host of this planet? Whose house is this? Whose planet is this? Who biologically identifies with the planet? Who naturally evolves with the planet? It's us, man. We're not even supposed to be around them. Facts. Like, and our people, we want to think we the same because we play basketball with them, because we like we doing shit with like that shit. Nah, bro. That shit dead. We done with that. So we need to talk up. We need to have these type of conversations in our communities now. Everything is going back to genetics and the sun. So I want my people that are on here. Let's come up and have a discussion on why we're allowing these species to do this. Why are we allowing this? That's the main thing.
Like, the thing is, we know why, and we understand that we're programming, but my thing is, what are you doing to actually stand on business?
Facts.
See, that's the real discussion. See, I've had this discussion with several people. We've done these lives for almost 12 months. You see what I'm saying? But the thing is, people that started with us in the beginning is still not talking about the children.
Facts.
So we're not going to keep letting y'all just, you know what I'm saying, freely usurp the energy. You see what I'm saying? If our main premise is our women and our children, like he said, the women bring balance because they are all. We're the nurture, we're the mothers of life. So when we're talking about the species, they are very important. Who continues the species? The species continues through the children. So you got 5 billion so-called children that shouldn't be in her womb right now. That's a fucking problem. Imagine children that aren't supposed to be in your womb and they're in your womb and you're carrying them and everybody's making them feel comfortable, but it's detrimental to the womb. Like, how much respect do we really have for the divine feminine to say that you come from me when you're literally a scientific abomination? That's what your scientists are calling their own genetics, is an abomination. So we can leave feelings and emotions and shit at home. These are your mad scientists going mad in the lab trying to figure out how the fuck did my people get here. I would be mad too if so-called God created me on all fours, hairy as fuck with a tail, can't speak or reproduce even with my own kind. I'd be pissed as fuck too. Wondering why the sun is causing acute body radiation. Fuck you mean? And the niggas want to say it's all one melanin. How? How? You're born with your pineal gland calcified. How are you producing
You all
neuromelanin?
came from Africa, right? Right? And he literally stopped what he said to ask me that. Like, bro, are you dead ass? That's how you know you don't know what you're talking. So why are you coming up to say that? So you know we're not the same. So it's like our people, like, we gotta start just moving, embodying this energy of who he really is, and start listening to the voice inside. No God, no nothing. Listen to the voice inside. That is what's gonna tell you what is truth, chaos, untruth, um, everything. It's gonna tell you everything, etc. You see what I'm saying? That's the voice that you gotta listen to and be sensitive to at this very moment. Because that's what's gonna lead you through this evolution, this so-called evolution, your own path of evolution. That's what it is. So I really want our people to grasp that children are the main focus of in our community, and that's what it needs to be. And we need to be teaching our children. We need to be teaching our children who they are down to the atom molecule of their cells, so they can be able to heal themselves through their mind, through their, you see what I'm saying? And then they will learn to do that physically as well. And they said first rule meditation. Meditation is you're doing that right now.
Yeah, being an observer of
It's
your
just
reality.
observing and focusing. That's what it is.
But what are you observing though? Are you observing a lie? Are you observing the truth? Are you finding the truth in every lie? See, they put everything in front of you according to universal law, but do you know how to decode it? Because they are giving you truth and lie at the same time. So if you're not able to decode the message, then we can hear you now, Mansabe. Go ahead.
Yo. Okay, yeah, you can hear me. Okay, so basically, I missed a lot of stuff. I had to turn my phone off and everything and turn it back on. But like to me, it doesn't make sense, right? If they say that, black people or people that look like us was on the planet for thousands of years before other races showed up, and they say the only reason that other races are here because when black people or people that look like us migrated, then we just morphed or we just changed into other races. Like, that doesn't make sense. From that analogy, it's just like saying that the white South Africans will basically morph back and change back into black people if they stay there long. But that doesn't make sense because the white South Africans, we know they're not from Africa, right? Why haven't they morphed back or show any signs of morphing back into black people? But they'll tell us that black people morph into other races. But no other races are still morphing or anything. Just how they tell us that we come from monkeys. And how the comedian Cat Williams says, like how the comedian Cat Williams said, well, why is it still monkeys here? Why is it still apes here? Did they decide not to morph or change into humans? Like, that's a good question everybody got to ask. And then they, like, people like to always put down black genetics, right? They like YT people like, but before, they was really calling us like subhuman, right? They was putting us down so much to basically say they're superior. But then when we actually find out that our genetics are superior all the way across the board, then they don't want to talk about this stuff no more. Then they want to teach that, oh, we all one, we all the same. But when you was telling us that we were subhuman, then it was no problem. But then when we find out the truth and tell you that you not like us, right? Like the song, you're not like us, right? Then it's a problem. Then we want to be all one now. But yeah, that's what I had to say.
Yeah, facts. They used to say that we weren't them. They used to do everything at the strange fruiting. Now they want to say, "Oh, we all have the same common ancestor." Then where was that fucking energy?
Yeah.
Where is that energy now? Then see, now the truth is coming out, and see, the whole world is about to be talking about genetics because you got so-called Trump telling a nigga that's in the same haplogroup as him that he not native and got to go back to Siberia, but neither one of them niggas are native, and
Yeah.
they're putting genetics in your face without even saying anything. You see what I'm saying? If you look at the discussions on TikTok, who's African and who's African American and who's it's really about genetics. A topic about interracial dating is about genetics. It's just niggas haven't explored it, so they actually don't know how to have an intellectual discussion, and everybody's just coming up and expressing emotions. So now you got niggas like Torin in the comments, like, "Oh, this is scientific racism, nigga. This is science." Racism and race is theoretical, and that is something that was created by the same motherfuckers that we talking about. The same people you saying race was created by them. Like, we not thinking for real, y'all. This entire ideology was created by who? And now you want to say that's, of course it is. Because everything that is true, they have created the lie to combat the truth.
Yeah, they want to call it racist and all this stuff when we on the come up. You know what I'm saying? But when they saying all this stuff, spreading all this misinformation, then it's that's the truth. That's this, that's that. But then when we know, right, for a fact, and we prove it, right, then it's like, oh, it's racist. You don't say it, don't say that. And that's the whole game. When we do it, it's bad. When you do it, it's good.
Nah, facts, brother, facts. That's why we got to just start knowing who we is. That's all. That's all this takes. This has all been a test on our unity. See what I'm saying? That's all this has been. So abundance for that, my brother. Thank you for sharing your frequency. See what I'm saying? We have another guest. Ali, you can go ahead and tell us your age, name, and so-called race, and what brought you up here.
So first, I'm gonna ask that you learn how to read because my name is not Halid, and my so-called race. I don't understand that.
We just explained that race is theoretical, and it was, like she said in the chat, constructed. Race is not
So
biological. It's constructed term. So excuse me, Halima. It's
thank
okay.
you,
The brother
thank
can't
you.
really see because it's a different perspective when you're actually live and you're running a live. Okay, everything is small as fuck up here. So what was the reason why you came up, sister?
Well, I was interested in the topic, but I'm clearly not invited because my beautiful white tee, I'm a chosen black woman, is not invited. So I'm gonna exit, but keep in mind,
Okay, abundance and gratitude. Thank you for coming up.
What?
Like, we're
I
not
don't
finna play the
even.
semantics with you with this AI ass profile picture, sister. Like, come up here and express your authenticity for real. You just interrupted the vibration. That's what we talking about. We don't care. We don't care. You see what I'm saying? We don't care. You see what I'm saying? F1. We don't care.
Y'all saying, hey, 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 is the sun hating?
Hey,
Is the
yeah.
sun hating these opposite species for getting 500,000 of their species out of here? But now that was from 2000 to 2019. Now it's up to the millions. Is the sun racist? Is the sun a hatred because it's getting these species out of here? Because they're not natural to the planet and they're harming the planet and they've been harming the ecosystem? Why are y'all not talking about how that's hatred, but you're talking about this is hatred? You're not talking about how it was hatred when they had us in human zoos not even 100 years ago, but you're talking about hatred for this. Man, y'all not like, it's just crazy, man. Y'all can't be real, bro. You can't be. You too programmed. This is about children. Uh, go ahead, mother.
Peace and love y'all.
Abundance.
Yeah, you know, TikTok won't let me go live, right? I've been trying for about how long? From since they did that thing, but they won't let me go live because you know what time it is. Um, yeah, at this point in time, I think the world knows. You know what I mean? You see, at the point and the time of Aquarius, which means to know, it's not to believe and all of that, it's to know. And these people know. They've been new because remember, the study has always been about us. Yeah? And who don't know themselves is us. We have power, but we don't have the knowledge to our power. And I was just telling someone today earlier because all of the other ethnics, oh yeah, they could step up and talk about this and talk about that, but guess whose culture it is? It's ours. They robbed the tombs that held our inheritance and our birthrights in it, and they took it and shared it amongst one another, except for us, because the plot was to enslave the gods. The royal people of the land is the plot. So when they did that, oh yeah, India has the Kama Sutra about sex and keeping the family together. That's our science, right? As you notice, they got that knowledge, so it was easy for them to do their sorcery and corrupt and turn the dads against the moms and the children in our nation. If you realize, our nation is the only nation that cannot live together, cannot build together, cannot work together because they put their sorcery. I keep telling people this thing wasn't just done on on hue, not just the hue, you know what I mean? Not just the hue of man, but it was also done with science of nature. Yeah. So to undo this, we got to go into our science, of which they are afraid of because they don't have the power. We do. But when they miseducate us, guess who gets the power? They do. All they rituals, they Super Bowls, and they games and they holidays. We don't even know the corruption and the lies of it. Now the babies are bringing it to our attention. And we're saying, get the fuck out of here. You mean Thanksgiving is fake? Christmas is fake? Halloween is fake? Easter? And it has other significance, but they took it and they put their whatever story on it and told it for many generations, and it was a belief. Now we know, and that's a big difference.
Facts. Abundance for that. Thank you, mother, for sharing your frequency. It's always a pleasure for you to come up here and you know what I'm saying, tell us the facts. You see what I'm saying? So I hope y'all heard that. Like, it's
And I
all about
miss
knowing.
y'all, and I want to tell you I love you, you know what I'm saying? And I want to also share this because remember, people, um for them to have did something as such, it took a lot, and it's taking a lot, because remember, they couldn't just do it and just leave it alone. They had to mess with the planets, the space, the earth, the water, because those are the John and Matthews and Luke and whatever else, the epistles that they wrote about. But they wrote it in characters. That's why it's an allegorical story, because it's a story about an ancient story of a people. So they had to go there, but they couldn't. When Bob said 3,000 years, which is older, it's millions of years old, but he just was giving us that 3,000 years of his story could not be wiped out so easily. See? And even if you read that book that's indoctrinating people, it's contradictory. It's contradictions. So now, The part where they say lean not on your own understanding. I said, fuck that. I have to understand. I'm not gonna believe in nothing I do not understand or overstand or understand. So, just for our time of now, oh yeah, remember, if y'all read that book, they say ain't nothing gonna be left here but some hateful birds and demons. So if we lose loved ones, or even if we lose our life, be thankful, because this is not the place for us. We are of higher dimension. We are planetarian beings, and we do not fear nothing, because we are the people that live forever, ever, ever, ever. Because melanin does not die.
F1's in the chat, but abundance for that mother, for real. We don't unalive. You see what I'm saying? We don't. We are forever. We just operate in cycles and energy cycles. We are that energy that cycles. You see what I'm saying? So abundance for that mother. Thank you for sharing your frequency. I hope y'all felt that, because that's real. This is real life. This is what's happening. So at this very moment, it's getting to a point in time where we're getting separated from this species. We're gonna get completely separated from these species because the sun is separating us right now. So it's just gonna be you and genetics. You're not gonna have none of these TV, phones, jobs, none of this. You're just gonna have you and yourself and your immediate circle. So how are you gonna operate and navigate? You see what I'm saying? You're gonna have to be real. Facts. You're gonna have to listen to that voice, and you're gonna have to live in truth. There is no one foot in, one foot out. You see what I'm saying? You're gonna have to live in truth. You see what I'm saying? And this is and that's what we need. We need the mothers of life to be speaking on that, because that's who or it changes the species. That's who brings the species back into natural balance. So that was amazing. I think we have another guest coming up. But did anyone want to add anything? Excuse me. Did anybody want to add anything before we let the new guest speak? Okay, if everybody good, go ahead, Skin Dog. Tell us your age, name, and so-called race, and what brought you up here. Skin Dog. I don't know what's going on.
I
Somebody.
think hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Okay, I had muted myself, but I just want to say one thing. This is purging time, man. We got to get all them bad chemicals and bad foods and things we took in our bodies. It's purging time, man. We got to get all that out of us. Get back to fasting and meditating, and that's what I'm doing now. That's all I wanted to add.
Abundance for that. Yes, that's what we need to be doing every day. It needs to be an everyday thing, to where we go back, to where we just go back to eating the sun. Because that's what so-called black people anatomy is supposed to be eating, just the sun. We're the natural breatharians. You see what I'm saying? So abundance for that, my brother. That was a positive message for my brothers and sisters to hear. Abundance for that. Thank you
But
for
we gotta make sure that we cleaning every day, y'all, for real, because it's
sharing.
not just your vessel. You gotta understand the mitochondria, how that information has been passed down to you. You gotta think about what your mother was doing, what her mother was doing, right? So it's not about just cleaning you, but it's about cleaning your bloodline and paving the way for our children, for the species, because every prokaryotic animal, insect, plant is doing something for the continuation of their species. We the only people, or we're the only, you know what I'm saying, beings right now that don't know who, haven't remember who we are. So it can't just be about alive. It can't just come in here. You can't just come in here and it just, you know what I'm saying, put 100s in the chat. Like you actually, like in order for us to see it dismantled, we each have to stand in that truth, or else I don't want to talk to you. You see what I'm saying? It's no iron sharpening iron. So then how can we really ascend? right? If we just talking about it, but you're not doing this and living in this truth on an everyday basis, like in order for you to be an observer of your reality and to meditate, you have to understand you have to be a student to everything. You have to remove the indoctrination and really go fact for fact. And if you're not doing that, how could you move in authenticity? If you're not tapping in and going into meditation and tapping into the soul, which is neuromelanin, how are you getting downloads when you have clogged arteries and you have clogged meridians and you're feeding your neuromelanin like a eukaryotic organism? How are you seeing the truth for real? And in here, we hold our species accountable because there's no difference between me and you, right? Not genetically, as so called black men and women through the mitochondria, we're just a replication of the very first woman and man, fragments of the universe and the sun. So the only thing that is separating us is discipline or frequency. Other than that, we're the same.
Facts.
Also, I think it goes back to having creating power for us, because also I was looking at like how we under their medical examination, right? And then a lot of like people that look like us or black people, we get wrongfully examined, which lead to us deteriorating. You know what I'm saying? Because you cannot be. They treat us like we're the same, but we're not, even medically, right? So I think that's something that we got to do. Work on having power, not just money, but just having power. Because money doesn't always equate to power. Like having power to have your own your own studies, your own hospitals, your own things like that. Then we can get the proper treatment and the proper diagnosis for us.
The power is in information. This is what electrons do on a quantum level to expand the universe. So the power is in information. We gotta just know who the information that exists within our vessels that makes up us. We gotta understand who we are. And once we understand that, we will know how to be our own doctors, how to be our own teachers, how to be our own everything. We're gonna once you know thyself, you'll learn to be self-sufficient. This is what all organic I always relate everything back to nature because they're third in command in the whole cosmos, and they were placed here specifically to remind us who we was. And when you see the way they have families and all of this, they teach their children to be self-sufficient. They're always teaching their children how to be self-sufficient, how when they grow up, and all of these things. That's what we have to do, and that's what and we've gotten too complacent and docile in a system that is just here to chemically imbalance us. That's what it is. That we just drugged up. That's what it is.
Yeah, and you're correct. Knowledge is power. But also, what I was speaking to is like when you have knowledge or you have something of value, you have to be able to protect it. You know what I'm saying? Like we can have all this knowledge and stuff and things, but if you can't protect what you got, then it can be easily wiped out. So that's why I was saying like I think we need to like mobilize and have power between us. So when we gather something, we can be able to protect it and defend it from people or things that wanna hurt us. That's what I'm saying.
We like I get it, but I guess I just really want my people to understand that the earth gives us everything that we want and need.
Yep.
She's been asleep just like we have. We're not even thinking about how great she actually is. We're thinking like a couple thousand years ago, few thousand years ago, like how think about the beginning of time. Think about how the trees used to sing. Think about how the rocks used to talk. Like that's when we say we're going back to nature. Right now, nature is beautiful to look at, but it is not operating in its highest functionality. Neither are we. So I just want my people to understand it's not about having, and I'm just somebody came in here one day and said we need black Walmarts. We need black hospital, black. We don't need to put our face on their system, y'all. Earth already has her own system. If I go outside right now, it's February. I'm in Texas, right? There's dandelions. There's dandelion greens. There are these other purple flowers, the root, the leaf, the stem, The whole entire plant itself is medicinal. The earth gives us exactly what we need. She's giving that off right now because maybe we're struggling with our with diuretic. Maybe we're having diuretic issues as a people. Maybe we're having some issues with kidneys. Maybe that's the reason why she's giving off dandelions. So is it the season, or is it based off of where we're at as a people? Because we're all connected through quantum entanglement. We're using telepathy and we're manifesting every second. But if you are able, when you are able to slow those moments down and observe them to where you can now manipulate and be the creator of your reality, then there's no reason to say we prisoners of war. When you understand that calling yourself a prisoner is just programming the mind. So it takes time to go within to reprogram and make impressions on the subconscious mind so you can create the reality that you want. It's not hard at all.
Okay, but don't we? Okay, like for example, right? Let's just look at the continent of Africa, right? Which is, they say have the most resources, right? And which should be the most powerful continent on the earth, right? The reason why it's not so powerful is because it doesn't have the ability to defend itself from colonial power, and it's been dismantled. So I'm saying I agree with you when you say the earth give you everything. When you look at everything that's in the earth, it gives you everything you need to live and to survive and do everything you want to. But it's things on earth that's gonna want to take that from you. You know. So what I'm saying is, like, before you even can even rest in your power, before you can even get in tune and just really do what you want to do, right? You have to be able to protect that. Before Africa be able to become the best it can be, it had to be able to defeat the colonial powers. That makes sense?
No, because you're still telling me just a couple hundred years ago, and I'm talking about original planetary homeostasis.
Okay.
I can't find another word besides that. I don't even know,
She's
but
talking about when this planet was still with just black people
right.
and we had a global civilization.
When
And
she was operating in her resonance, which is 555 hertz.
So how do you think that we can get back to that?
Going within,
Okay.
changing your own frequency
switching
within,
your frequency, understanding energy, because that's what everything is.
So don't
and
you think?
sensory input, sensory output. Just like she said, the reason why all of these dandelion greens and all of this is because of what our body is sending, the signals that our body is sending to the earth, and the earth has been communicating with us. We
Right.
haven't been
Facts.
picking up on the call because we've been drugged up. I
Brother,
keep saying that, but F1's in the chat, but we're rugged up.
I agree.
This system.
I agree with everything
And
y'all
we're rugged
saying.
up on this language. We think this language is the language we should be speaking, when with the language we should be speaking is frequency and vibration. You
I
see what I'm
agree with.
saying? The earth doesn't know this. That's why you don't know what she's really saying to you, and you don't know what vibration she's actually heading into.
I agree with what y'all saying, but the same institutions that are like medicating us, drugging us up, that's getting us the bad food, that's putting us in this state of that we don't supposed to be in. Hello?
yeah.
Yeah, that's putting us in a state that we don't supposed to be in. We have to be able to break from that state and be able to have our own things. In order to do that, if we have our own stuff, right? If we start doing everything y'all talking about, right? And then there's other beings on the planet, right? That's gonna want to take that away and put us further into turmoil. So what I'm saying is, like, we need to have something that we can defend ourselves with before we can even dive so deep into what y'all are talking about. Because
Brother,
if everybody started, let's say all the black people started like eating natural foods, started, taking herbs, eating from the land and stuff, I promise you, and they have done this before already, they will destroy the land so you won't have. They will destroy stuff so you don't have. They will pollute the water. They will pollute the air so you don't have. So what I'm saying is, before you can even get to that, right, you have to be able to protect yourself. Because
No. How can you
wait,
defend yourself when you don't understand the fight?
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying,
They
like,
weren't able
even
to
when
do
you
that.
understand, right, you can have the
They weren't.
knowledge, right?
They weren't. They did that because we didn't understand the fight. You got to first understand these niggas not supposed to be here. That's what we didn't understand then. We were still trying to be with these niggas and still, you see what I'm saying? That's where we went wrong. Because, and not necessarily wrong, we're compassionate beings. That's a part of our, that's what makes us who we are. That's what's within our genome. If you look at what we're composed of, how are stars born? That's what is a star composed of? What are planets composed of? It's the same thing. Carbon, hydrogen, helium, oxygen, nitrogen. So why are stars worried about chickens,
Peace,
fruit
y'all.
flies,
I don't want
celery?
to.
Let
You
me
see what I'm saying? Why are we worried about that? We're not prisoners. So why you have to first change the mind? I'm gonna ask you, do you know how to do you know how to manifest? Like, do you know how to manifest something specific that you want?
I mean, I believe that like when I think about something and stuff do happen in my life, but if I can't give you like a detail like okay I need to do this and this. But you know I believe something, I put myself in the right position to receive it, and that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know what else to tell you about
You can
that.
perfect it, brother.
So
I
It
understand,
starts
I
with
understand
self.
that. Okay, just like a monk, right? A monk is very spiritual, right? They meditate and stuff, right? But they also taught how to defend themselves. You understand? They also taught to build their physical so that so because your physical houses your mental, and you have to be able to protect your way of life.
you
Brother,
want to know
it's
how
the
they're
other
able
way
to do
around.
it? Yeah, you want to know how they're able to do it? Just like the brother said, other way around, you go in the spirit first because everything manifests there first. That's
I
why I'm
agree with
telling
you.
my
That's what I'm
people,
saying. I'm saying
you
when you
have to
get to
get
that
to the
point,
point to where you slow your life down
I get it. But you, in order to
and
slow your life
understand.
down,
Okay, all right, all right, all right, all right,
Man, you
all right,
can't
brother.
have a conversation if
Yeah,
you over
I'm
talking,
good.
bro.
I'm
Like, what
good.
are you doing?
This
I mean,
this
go ahead.
is
I'm
this
just talking. I mean, go ahead though.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
over talking.
this is when we put things into practice. We have to remember practice makes perfect. So it's like when people pisses me off, I don't go there with them. I learn about me. This is what this is all about. You know, we all got a knowledge. I am very ignorant to mechanics, fishing, all kind of shit. But there is something that I am very good with. You know what I mean? As far as because I lived it. I'm sure there's something you're good at because you lived it. So, but when it comes to the things that we're not good with, just quiet yourself and listen. Just listen. Just absorb. Just listen. And that's what we need to do. That's the same thing. Like, I try to tell people to help yourself to listen just when you're around a whole bunch of noise. Like, I got music playing, the breeze is blowing, this and that and that and that. But I try to pick one thing like a bird chirping and just keep listening for that bird. Guess what? Everything else is going to tone out. You're going to quiet yourself. Even though the noise, it could be the noisiest place. You can quiet your inner self. And when you do that, you're in a whole different dimension. For real. You could walk through the wall and not a bullet touch you. And nobody even see you. We are powerful.
Facts. She said, go within. No matter what's happening around you, can you lock in with you? Because you can slow atoms down. The Matrix is not like some type of superstitious ass shit. You can slow atoms down. It's you. You can literally manipulate your reality. I do it every single day. I don't care what no YT motherfucker tell me. I'm gonna manipulate the energy for what it is, what I need it to do. You see what I'm saying? I'm not allowing nobody to tell me how something is going to go on my planet because I truly understand and I know that it's mine. We not locking in with that. We still want to be a part of the system. Oh, how do I navigate the system better? The system is fucking destroying you. And that's what it was built for. So I don't know why we're trying to navigate a system that was designed for our destruction better. How do I navigate my destruction better? Is what we're saying as a community when we still rely on them. So then what do? You go within you because that's the control center.
And you know what, Sky?
And we
Not
make the environment. I just wanted to say that we make the environment. You see what I'm saying? Just like the sun is in our genetics, the sun is making the environment on this planet.
But
It's
what we
sparks
have
that
to do,
alignment. Go
we
ahead.
have to embrace it. Because some people go out in the sun and don't even feel it, don't even acknowledge it, don't even the it's like this. I be like, wow, every time they speak of the sun, who is too hot? I said, if I was the sun and all these mugs is bleaching and running and talking about me, I will hide from them hoes. And guess what? 3 weeks, everything on the planet would be dead. That's how important that sun is. But no one goes out there and embrace it anymore like one time. You understand? And that's what's happening with nature. And you see, we have to realize we speak things, and sometimes I think we're not listening to ourselves because we're telling people that they're not conducive to nature. And that is why they're destroying it. So when the other question comes in, right? Why is it's because they're not conducive to it. They can't absorb the sun, but you can. So wouldn't I want to destroy it? I can't full joy it. Oh, I can't. I don't have it. Remember, a lot of things was done to write themselves into our story. That's all I could say. And I'm just giving facts. I love. And you know why I know I love? I'm going to say like this because I have taken care of White T's mama. And you know what White T mama did? Never looked back and said thank you. So I'm like, wow. And I would do it again. You know why? Because that is how I am made. I am who I am. And that is how it is. Like I was telling someone, love isn't how should I say? Sex. It's not I'll do this if you do that. It doesn't have strings. It's really, and I'm gonna tell y'all, and I am going to say this because it's facts. It's not color. We love because we are the biochemistry of what love is. We are the species of people that is made of melanin. Now check this out. Someone is going to say everything has melanin in it. Yes, it does. You have to have melanin to be alive. The cockroach got melanin. The dune bug, beetle, doodle bug got melanin. Anything that is alive got melanin. But guess what? And this is my thing. All I asked is that the next ethnic bow in this time. You know why? Because they have always had us under their foot. They have always had their foot on our necks. This is the time when I rise and your ass flat on your back. Now I say bow, and that's my thing because there is a superior, and it is the black, not even black. It is the Moabite woman, the Moabess, the Mooress. Just like the Moors bought everything, that Mooress gave everything for everyone to could breathe and full joy what they full joying now. That's why if some one of us to pop up in each one of our houses, guess what? We will leave your house bare because we're going to take everything that our ancestors created and invented. And guess what? You will be sitting. You probably won't even have no floor. You won't have no water to wash or nothing either. So that's my thing. Because guess what? I am responsible. I am the stewardess of the earth. I am the stewardess of the sea. I am the stewardess of the air. I am the stewardess of myself and all living things. And that is why we speak because we hate to see what is going on with what is ours. And we are the ones they got their foot on our neck. So how is it going to happen if we don't rise? And if you had, imagine you got your foot on someone's neck. I'm going to throw your foot off of my neck. And what's going to happen to you? You're going to land on your back. You might bump your head and die too. Yeah? And now to look within inside yourself is the most difficult thing. You could forgive the man that did you something, but you can't forgive yourself. And that's what's going on with white tea. White tea can't forgive themselves for the hatred that they know their great, great, great grandfather did to my great, great, great. And when they hear the history, it pains them. But here comes now white tea mixed with your people, the melanated ones. Now, okay, what's up with you? Because guess what? Them is the boule. Them is the W.D. Du Bois. And them who went into the politics and bought the communists and then played us to say, oh, but you in office to protect and defend us. But your motherfuckers kept your foot on our necks. So that's why I have a problem with half-breed children, because you straddling the fence and you not gonna fight with us. You're gonna take the privilege of what is good for you over there or whatever. And then when you come to the hood, we got to defend you. Because if anything happened to you, guess who going to jail and who gonna suffer? One of us. Even if they ain't did it. So I am a fair mother. If you tell me the truth, I forgive. Because I have put my heart on the scale. Now this is to help each and every one. If you want to do it, you could do it right now. Stand up, shoulders up, straight at attention. Now close your eyes. Take a deep breath and blow it out in through your nose, out through your mouth. Now listen to the natural sounds, like the breeze blowing or whatever, the birds chirping, a natural sound. Choose that. Now stand straight, your back and spine straight. Now, your two arms is going to be the scales. It could be at the side because it got to hang. Now, put your heart in your right hand and then put a feather in the left. You tell me what's going on with that scale because only you know. My scale balanced. And a matter of fact, the feather is way down on the table. That's how light my heart is. I don't have no hate. But guess what? When I see what I see every day in society with the superiority and inferiority and my people bowing their heads in shame, what did they do? They gave everything. Blood, sweat, tears, invented, created math, literature, art, science, astronomy, astrology, and you keep going. The energy centers of the world that is unknown and still being studied, but yet they will say that my people is what? Is what? And call them all kind of names and brand them and label them. Yet there's nothing they could do about them. Why? Because we are the indigenous, original people. Here they come now with a connotative and said we indigenous. Why are we indigenous? Well, indigenous mean made of a man and a woman. So N-I-N is like, what the fuck? What we made of then? I'm indigenous. My mama, my daddy made me. And they mama and they daddy made them. And they daddy and they mama made them. And it goes on and on. And how many generations? Come on, y'all be for real. We got to stop the bullshit. You know, and that's all I ask for. is the truth. And the truth is what YT will not ever come to, because they know that we are the superior beings. And if there was a destruction today, guess who they looking to?
Facts, abundance, and gratitude for that. Um, HTE, we got to be careful with your name because of what, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
go
you
ahead.
feel me,
Go ahead and express your thoughts on the topic, my brother.
I just wanted to say that evil roams within the diet, and your consumption isn't just based off of food. You must first learn what food to eat. So you have to pay attention to your surroundings and be mindful of what you hear. Intake comes in all forms. So you absorb everything from words to the energy from the sun. We also absorb the food that we consume. So evil roams within diet, food for thought. That's all I got to say.
Okay, abundance for that. What do you think about the second question on the screen?
Man, I think that's what this movement is all about, to take back that power for yourself and be in control of your own destiny. You need to know how to take care of yourself as a human being, and you should not give that power to individual instructors to tell you how to take care of yourself. You first have to tell the doctors how you feel. They're not some rich psychics that know everything. Like, you giving them the power. So stop allowing them to teach your kids how to be humans when you could teach them your full life experience. Quit allowing them to brainwash you and make you sick. Take back that power and source your own food. Learn the earth around you. Don't be scared to change.
Do you know they told us that them places was experiment stations? School, medical, and agriculture. If y'all go and read that from 1902, they told us. And that's why I said, yo, you know, when today I saw them was talking about that little girl that had to get escorted by the soldiers when she first went. Of course. It wasn't to protect her. It was to make sure they had a science what you call it, like a lab rat, because they had their experiment already planned for this 2025 in 1902. And the only way we're going to help ourselves, let me tell you something. It takes two people in open court to charge them for treason and bring the fucking Pope to his motherfucking knees. You heard me? With this religious shit they imposed on a nation and got them lost and looking every fucking where while they stole our shit and dispensed it and got our brothers locked up who knows the truth. You heard me? They got the emperor who got everything for a nation because he saw them kill a motherfucker. And the judges in them, every paper we put in them bitches striking it. Cause they know anyhow they let them out. One of them bitches gotta die. Because if you kill her more, you got to die. That's in the treaties.
We gotta
And that's
we gotta do
unalive.
yeah.
Excuse me. You gotta unalive. It's in the treaties. That's what we don't know about. We the ones gave them permission to do commerce on our lands. That part. We are governed by treaties, people. A treaty is a contract and a constitution. You see, there has been no government from since what? 1760, ain't it? All that shit is a fraud. It's what you call CEO of Walmart and Target. It's a corporation. And it's in 28 USC 300215. And it's telling us. And I'm like, why we ain't doing nothing? We talking about our children and ourselves. I'm looking back at our ancestors. I says, it's got to be something they did. And they did it. And I'm going to give them their credit. They did that shit well. But I keep on wondering, why do they keep on saying it's 400? Oh, it's 400 years. They've been saying that from 1962. That's when I came up in here again and again and again for this time here. Because something gonna happen. It got to. All the fuck they know how to do is blow up land and move land and earthquakes and all. They been doing that. This ain't nothing new. And they still doing it. I kid you not. Google the diamond mine in Russia. You'll be surprised how deep that bitch is. They been raping off the lands. We didn't do that. We lived with it because it's ours. We never go tear down the mountain of diamonds in Sierra Leone.
It's the forming of communities that block you from seeing the outside world. So once they put the
Exactly.
system in place for you to depend on, if you become solely dependent on stores and agriculture, which destroys the natural earth, if you don't realize that your food is right in front of you and everything you need is right in front of you, you'll be subject to a system of control.
You know they got this thing called microgreens, right? It's a green you plant, like you could probably do it in your house because we're gonna have to resort to something. Well, first, the reason why you gonna change your diet is because the worms be craving for it. So if you eating meat, you got to get over that urge and that violent. You gonna get violent, and you will eat someone.
They don't know because their thoughts are fully distracted, but they have received the experience of a human, which means that they feel it. See, evil has to resemble good. So it looks so much like the truth and feels so much like it. They just need the right words and they need to second guess themselves so that they can go with that second feeling. It's only going to prevent them from consuming and make them absorb just a little bit more.
We're
Observe.
saying take our power back, but what we're talking about in this live is how do you do that though? That's what I want to. I'm still trying to talk to Mansabe. Like I get what you're saying, brother, but how do you take your power back? The power that we're talking about manifests in the spirit before it could even manifest physical. So if you think taking your power back is by doing something physically outside of you, you are not taking back power.
Not
You're taking
physically, it's
back.
mentally
Okay,
inside of you. You have to
Let her
control your
finish,
thoughts.
man. What's going on?
I'm done, bro.
We
Like, this
how
shit's so
how we have
annoying,
value
bro.
for each other as cosmic
This shit's
beings,
so fucking
but
annoying.
we
I'm not
can't even
talking to
listen.
y'all,
We
bro.
can't even let somebody finish their sentence. Like, what's going on? Good, good.
I don't remember what I was saying.
You was addressing
Yeah, it's
Mensabe?
just the taking the
Power.
power
You
back
said
for
how
the
we
human.
take our power
No,
back
it's
is what you were
within.
saying.
It's within. Your power is where? Is it outside of you? So then where are you going to? That's what I'm trying to understand. Where
Exactly.
where do we actually where do we start? Because that's what everybody asks me in my DMs. How do I know thy true self? Where do I know I go within, but where do I start? Like what the fuck? If you know that you go within, then what are you asking, my sister?
Right. I
You're
think
not slowing it down though. You're not
what
slowing it down. You're not grasping and you're not comprehending. And
right.
that is because if like the brother is saying, if you're eating against your diet, and like he came up here saying, it's not just diet, it's consumption as a whole. It's subscribing to the belief that you need something outside of yourself in order to sustain yourself. What about self-sustainability and self-efficiency? Being
Let me
self
I would like to ask cuz you are right and your question was how do we, and I just want to share. And you know, sharing is kind of difficult because everybody have a different way of learning, right? It's about five ways of learning that I know, right? Some learn by music, some learn by all kind of ways, right? Shooting hoops, some learn by you got to show them, some learn them by hands on, what they call that, kinetic or whatever, right? They got different names for it. I want to ask each and every one, can they spend time with themselves and love it? Like, don't even want no one to interrupt them. Can they sit and write a poem and express themselves in words on a piece of paper and love it? Do they feel that when they're not doing anything pertaining to the everyday, what you see on television or heard in a rap song or whatever, do you feel like you're missing something? Can you not do something that everyone is doing? Like, okay, like, do you have to get attacked because everybody talking about that, or does it do something for you? I mean, like, why do you do the things you do? And can you feel content spending time with yourself and loving it? Not saying, man, I ain't got nothing to do and bored and twisting and like loving spending that time with you. Like, really, that's the question. Because that's the start.
Okay. So basically, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Oh, what I'm saying is like, yeah, after you get that power from within, right? Yeah, you have to turn within first with anything that you do, right? Even the physical comes from the mental first. We all know that. But once you get that understanding of what's within, right? In order to change your environment around you, like how he was saying, like y'all saying eat cleaner and and do the right things and do for your diet and for your body and stuff so you can connect more. But if you're in a system, right, that's everything that's around you is bad food and you cannot get no good food, right? If you're in that type of system and you understand that I need good food so I can elevate to this higher level, right? You have to be able to get good food yourself. But if you're in a system that doesn't have that, how would you get there without having some kind of power? After you understand what's in yourself and I need this and this, you got to have some kind of power to protect or to go get something. Like, for example, y'all would like to bring up nature, right? Nature teaches you a lot, but also nature also teaches you everything has a defense mechanism. Everything, every natural thing has a defense mechanism. Every animal or whatever you say has a defense mechanism. So once you understand what's inside you, right, and to get out of this situation that we in, and to even have knowledge, because even our educational system is poisoning us. So how will we get mass education for our people, right? If we say we want to elevate, we have to be able to have some kind of power to put that education in place and let it stay in place. That's what I'm saying.
So, what is power to you?
Okay, the power is the ability to do what you want and when you want it. You understand? Like, so
How
if
do
you
you
want it,
gain that outside of yourself? No,
let,
you
let, let,
talking
let
to
me
me
let me.
because you cut me off originally. I've been cut off several times.
Yeah, okay, go ahead, no problem.
And I'm just asking a simple question. You get your power outside of you, is what you're saying?
Okay, if
You
you
gain
was
the
listening to
power.
me, I said once you understand
You're
the
not even
inside,
listening to me,
right?
bro.
Just answer her
You don't get
question.
He
power from
doesn't,
outside of
he
yourself,
doesn't,
bro. Everything that you're saying, you're telling me, oh, nature does this, but we're here. Who are you putting the system above nature? That's I'm telling you that everything starts mentally. There is no but. There is no excuse once you go within. You're not even looking at the world or what the next animal is doing or what animal if you're going inward. That's why I'm saying slow things down. It's going to be hard for you to see the truth and slow things down if you're still consuming meat. We're not just talking about food though. It's about feeding. You have 150 trillion cells, brother. All of your cells listen to your thoughts. The power that you're talking about, being able to do whatever, whenever, is talking about how do you migrate your cells to form your reality? How do you find the answer for that in Walmart and they schools working for them? Why are you still trying to have them on the planet? Why are you still giving energy for allowing them to be here? And you keep saying you're not listening. We have said this several times to you. And you keep talking about patriarchy in a system. We're talking about spirituality and genetics. And what's separating us from having this discussion for is frequency. You have the same genetics as the host, as Ether, as the brother down there. All of y'all have the same genetics. Y'all are all the replication of the very first man. He gets what I'm saying. There's a blockage with the neuromelanin because of the frequency and what you're feeding yourself, subscribing to the system in the first place. Dismantle, and you have to continue to make subconscious impressions to your mind. I don't need the system. I am the currency.
The current is me. That is, your cells are listening to that. They are now forming your reality to that. Do you just do that once? No. Constant impressions to the subconscious. You see what I'm saying? So we're not talking about a system. I'm talking about your power. That has nothing to do with a system. That's why you think you're powerless.
Okay, so
And
you
power
done?
is just talking about information. The power is literally the information that you. I explained it to you earlier that the electrons that expand the universe through information, which is that power that allows them to do whatever it wants. You see what I'm saying? So I was just saying, we need to study. You just need to study yourself. That's all you need to study: the information of yourself and how your body absorbs information and puts out information, and you will know how to navigate in your environment. This is just simple genetics, man. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta just know thyself.
I understand what you're saying,
Hold
but
on, let me say
it's
you gonna say the
wait
same
one second.
thing.
Let me hold up. But it's people, right, that want to elevate and want to eat the right things and want to do things that y'all are saying, right? But they are in an area where they don't have access to certain things that some of y'all might have. You know what I'm saying? Some people cannot get fresh food, fresh fruits and vegetables. Some people can't get stuff from the earth like
Didn't
that.
you have to go
E-
into your thoughts to find the
Even
words to
You
say?
can
hold on
get
one second.
nuts.
Hold on. I thought we weren't talking over each other. But one second. Like even some of the seeds, right? Some of the seeds have been modified. Like some people can't even get natural seeds no more. So what I'm saying is like because they made it like that in the system. I'm not saying I want to be with the system, but in order to break out of the system, after you, like I said, after you look within, you know this stuff, right? And use your mental, right? You have to have some kind of power to break out of that. You understand? Because like some people cannot eat fruits and vegetables like how they want to. And some people are not even educated enough because they've been educated by the system. So you have to have your own education. You have to have your own education. Like your kid, right? I don't know if you ever got kids, but your kid is learning from a certain system right now. Wherever you're at in the world, they learn from a certain system, right? Unless they be in homeschool or something. But what I'm just saying is like some people don't have access to this stuff. You know what I'm saying? That y'all are talking about. Because how can I clear up my diet if I don't have access to even anything that's good for myself?
So we each have to walk in our authenticity. See, there's a thing called quantum entanglement. We are all connected. We are all the same. We are all the replication of the very first man and woman. You're asking that, and I know I'm saying this respectfully. You're only saying that because you're not doing it. And you're making an excuse for not doing what you should already be doing. Because it's not about not having it. Like I said, I'm in Texas. I can go right outside my house. There's dandelion greens. I mean, it's about hunger. It's about understanding. Like, nobody is forcing you to eat a burger, bro. You choose that. You mean to tell me even the programming that your child is in, that they're not teaching you that a burger, that an apple is better than a burger? They might be teaching you that they both have benefits, but they're not there saying that that a burger is better than an apple. They're not saying that. So, regardless of where you are being taught, how you are being taught, the truth presents itself in many ways, and niggas still don't choose it. Where they're like, we can't keep making excuses for each other, bro.
Exactly. And you talking about where the food, we literally just said our body sends signals to the planet so she can grow the food based off how we're feeling health wise.
We have to each
You see what I'm
stand in
saying?
our
People asking, oh,
authenticity.
where the food? Whole time you're stepping on it. Whole time you walking on it. You don't even know. It's right there. That's the food. You just don't understand that that was the food that you were eating because you don't understand your genetic makeup and what's conducive to your genetic makeup. And this is why we say study your genetics. And
Can I
this,
add an addition
you
to
know what I'm
that?
saying?
Can I
Go
add into
ahead.
this?
Go
So,
ahead.
what they're programming us now to think is the reality, which can be manipulated. Because at the same time, everything comes from a plant. You won't always see an apple tree because they're doing greenhouse stuff. They're doing man-made products. So some kids are thinking that Because I'm in Arkansas, you don't see orange trees. These kids never seen an orange tree. The schools are not teaching them about the roots. They're teaching them a different reality, which can't seem true because that's what evil has to do. It has to look like the truth. But you will never see the truth if you're not seeking it. If you're just looking for food and not the source, then you're not going to get to where you think you're going to go. You're still going to be dependent on someone telling you because you haven't figured it out for yourself. You can't be scared to take that path, and you can't take with you your old thoughts, which is baggage. It's going to weigh you down. You have to be willing to reset and clear your mind so that you can take in new information. This time you have your old experience to know which way not to go and to see how things affect you. Now you're just trying to see how only this one thing affects you. You got to relearn society all over again.
And also with the food, right? You can have, like you say, you in Texas, right? You can have fruits and
Arkansas.
vegetables and healthy things, but a lot of that stuff has chemicals and pesticides on it. You're not getting it straight from the source. You're not getting it straight from the tree that you grow or
Bro, not the
that you know
trees
is
right
natural.
here in
If
your.
it's growing, if it's growing out of the ground next to my front door, I'm getting it straight from the source.
But
But
That's
that's
the
good
crazy.
for
point that
you
I
though.
the point that I'm making, the point that I'm making is no one needs to tell you that a burger is not as
An
healthy
apple.
as
I
an
never said
apple
that.
when you eat. Yes, you did.
No,
When
I
you
said nothing about a burger.
let me finish and don't overtalk because I let you speak. All right? Because if I eat a burger right now versus me eating an apple, you mean to tell me I'm not gonna feel different after both of those, bro? Are you listening to your body? Like this stuff comes from sitting down with you. You're not sitting down with yourself, so you're not slowing things down, so you're not picking up on how your body is actually being affected.
So you're just
Nobody
asking
has to tell
everything.
you this shit, and nobody should have to tell you. If you're going within, all truths are coming to you. So we're not sitting down. People are saying, "Oh, we don't have this or nobody's this or nobody." Are you doing the work though? Because according to quantum entanglement, we are all connected. So maybe they're not doing it because you're not. Nobody can hold you accountable unless you're holding yourself accountable first. Are you doing it? Because then it would reflect in your reality. See, the people around me, they know I don't play about diet because I apply that pressure because I do it first. I can have the discussion because I'm doing it. So now me standing in my truth is sparking the discussion.
Miss Jay.
May I ask, has anyone ever planted? I know y'all went to school, so y'all had like science. You probably had a science project. You probably grew a pea or something. But have anyone, because we are in different geographics, yes. But we have to also stay on topic because Brethren was talking about her front door and the food growing there. So that's why she spoke of that. But now you may be in a different geographic, cement or whatever, I don't know. So, you can go. I don't know, you may not be able to either because our people do have economical challenges. But you can go buy like a long wooden thing and plant some tomatoes and whatever. At least, that's what we saying. We at this time have to make a change because things is going to change whether we like it or not. So at least, because remember, we forgot that the invisible of us observes the visible of us. See, that's what we have forgotten. That there's more to ourselves than just that flesh, eating flesh. You know what I'm talking about?
I think the biggest part of some people issues is when trying to grow.
Hold
Ether
on.
wanted to
Hold
speak.
on. Yeah, my brother Ether wanted to say something. I know you wanted to say something, brother. Thank
Just
you.
let him go first, and then we'll get to you next.
Yeah. Thank you, mother. Go ahead, Ether.
Uh, I just want to say to Jay, what a lot of what you're saying, like, oh, the fruits got chemicals. What if we can't get, organic stuff? All of that is just excuses. I'm gonna just be completely honest, from a son to a son. You feel what I'm saying? Because No matter what, if you wanted to grow your own stuff, go on Amazon, get you some organic, some seeds. You feel what I'm saying? You don't gotta get nothing from the supermarket. There's even websites where you can get like order natural fruits, exotic fruits. So it's like you just gotta want it for yourself. So if you don't truly want it inside, then you're never gonna get it. You feel what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna just be completely honest. If you don't want to really change your diet, you're not gonna find a way to truly change your diet. That's all it is. So that's more of like a you thing. Instead of making excuses, look for how to solve the problem. You feel what I'm saying? And that's all I wanted to say.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
HTA.
Oh, sorry.
Just to add on to that, in addition, it is more about what you can do. You have to literally go and get it. You can't just be sitting in one spot. That means you're putting yourself in a physical trap state of mind, a physical trap state as well as a mental trap state of mind. If it's not happening in your area, we weren't meant to be in one spot. We would have traveled naturally. Like that's why they say the animals could lead you to it. They're gonna lead you to the sources. So you're in one spot, you're depending on the same knowledge, which has led you back to the same spot. You got to change your track of mind and your physical location. So if we can tell you we're in the natural states like Arkansas, it's like the birthplace of Walmart, which means we mass producers of the world. You can just throw seeds out and everything grows naturally. But you know, California and Florida also has year-round natural produce. So try going to them areas for your own sake. Like this is for survival purposes, not about where you like being. Like you like being alive and healthy. So that should be your target. It's all about survival.
And I want to say the more we plant stuff and walk in our truth and let's like live on the planet like how we're supposed to be, then none of these people can say anything because they don't have no biological identification to the planet. We do though. So we just need to start. We already if we start knowing that we belong, just need to start. We already if we start knowing that we belong to the planet and this planet belongs to us, we just start living in this planet like it's like we're supposed to be. Nobody can tell us anything. That's what I'm saying. If you just gotta embody it and walk in it, you can't be scared and be in fear of people who don't even naturally supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Like you can't be nah. You see what I'm saying? You gotta find ways, especially for the next generation, because this is not just about you.
Go ahead, Case. I know Case wanted to say something, and then we'll get back to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Forgive me if you hear background noise and I'm multitasking. So I'm unable to see who all said what. So forgive me if I say the wrong thing to or attach it to the wrong person. But I just want to address a few things I heard. Right. Um, First of all, it all starts from within. Everything you want in this life and in the next life starts from within. So if we talk in spirituality, right? Like if we look at E5 for example, they they teach that um, you already had your purpose before you came into this body. Same thing with the Neter and ancient Kemet, right? You have to go within in order to practice Ma'at, which is truth, reciprocity, balance, order. So what all we're talking about is Ma'at in of itself. You cannot Saruj Ma'at within yourself, in other words, restore the balance, checks and balances, if you don't look within yourself. So if you making excuses, yeah, I'm gonna call it excuses for not eating healthy, because I make excuses. I'm talking to myself right now too, right? I'm not gonna act all high and mighty. um, we need to change the way we eat and the way we think and to vibrate higher. If you look at the different vibrations um, with the different people that came into this space over the past 20 minutes or so, 30 minutes, notice how the vibration changed in the conversation and whatnot. It's all from within. You speak utterance from within your heart. It's coming out your mouth. That's why it's genetic warfare. They understand that. We gotta understand and understand that. Remember it. Overstand it. You dig what I'm saying? So change the way you eat. And yeah, it can be hard. It can be hard, you know, depending on your life, your lifestyle, where you live, what you do for a living. But when I say it's an excuse, it is an excuse because going back to the meditation, right? When you meditate, do you know you have the power to command your cells and the ethers to move the way you want them to move for you? You dig what I'm saying? So if you're lacking nourishment from the food that you're eating, let's say you're trying to eat healthy, right? And I don't even like that word trying because we in the age of Aquarius, but that's a whole nother story. We got to stop trying and just do, just be my truth, reciprocity, balance, and order. Eat that which is going to nourish you to make you better or to wake you up. Electric foods, right? Stop eating dead flesh. Stop eating that damn swine, right? Especially that. But let's say you eating fruits that are not that nourishing because I don't know pesticides, whatever, whatever. Then you can still command your cells through meditation. It still comes back to you. When it comes to them Buddhist martial artists that was mentioned earlier, how do you think they're able to do what they do? Do you know you could shoot? I'm sorry, let me not use that word. Do you know you could try to cause harm to them? Press F1 in the chat. Do you know you could cause harm? You could try to cause harm to them, and they could bend steel and stuff like that. Um, and we used to know these sciences. You could try to push a sword into their stomach, and they could bend the entire sword and deflect the energy right back at you. And dodging bullets, that's not just a movie stuff, like the sister was saying earlier. You dig what I'm saying? We have so much more power than what we are told to believe. And I don't care who don't believe me, but if your vibration is high enough and you listening to this right now, I have the power to invoke lightning to strike in front of me because I've done it before. I don't have all the science together to be able to do it right now in front of you again, but I know I have manifested lightning bolt to strike in front of me where I was scared of my own power. And the ether showed me, like, yo, this is your power. Meditate. Do you know that if you meditate, I give you an example, right? And I'll quickly land my plane. There was a bunch of children that were stuck somewhere. I think it was the Philippines in a cave. You could look this up. And they were not supposed to survive that. They were stuck in the cave, losing oxygen for days. Science said that it should have been impossible for them to survive past 2 days, right? I think they were stuck for like a week or something like that, right? And they survived because they were meditating. Starts from within. And there's other examples like men standing in the most frozen, frigid areas on the planet with barely any clothes on and being able to survive like it's nothing just by meditation. I'm not playing. It starts from within.
Abundance for that, brother. Abundance. Jay, you can go ahead and reply to what everybody's been saying. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, things like that can happen, right? But I'm just saying, like, for because this whole, like, the topic and everything started about like us and other groups of people we not being the same, right? And we know that these other groups of people are gonna hinder us anything we try to do, right? And we know it starts within, right? But in order to, like, I believe, right, because y'all can educate me on this too, but I believe that in order to get to those levels where with all the stuff that with the case was talking about, in order to get to that level, it takes a while. You have to be very concentrated, right? You have to take a while. They have teachers that teach them how. They have teachers, they have groups, they practice this. That's like something that they do, right? So what I'm saying is, like, in order to really help a lot of us, of our people, to get to that higher level, right? We have to put them in a like a place where they're not in survival. They're in the state of living. Because when you're in the state of survival, like, okay, I gotta get it, then you can never be quiet. You can never really quiet yourself to even get into that meditative state. because you too stressed out about things. And then we know, like, some people have time on their hands to do certain things. They have resources, they have anything they want, and they can practice anything they want. They have time. But some people literally do not have time. It's a privilege to have that in this system, because this system has created it like that. Now if we didn't have this, if we wasn't under a system, if we was on our own accord, yeah, we can do a whole lot of stuff, right? But we're not. And all I was saying is that we need to create something, right? That we can teach our own people how to do this stuff. We need to teach our own people how to do everything. We need to teach our own people about medical, about food, about how to even look within and also give them a space to do that. Because some people don't. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it doesn't take as much time as people think. It takes energy. So it's not about doing it, right? It's how many times you can do it. So it's only hard because you're commanding yourselves that it's hard for you. It's very easy for me to do. And it was
Okay.
very easy for me to first do it. The thing is that I had to understand and change my entire approach. See, like children can grasp this in no time, but they're not indoctrinated like you or like another adult. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it means to go within. How do you remove the clogs so that it is so-called easy? And that takes as much time as you take. That's up to you. Other people, it's not taking years for people to get to this. It's not taking months. Some people can get this within weeks. Literally, they have commanded themselves to understand and approach everything from an energetic perspective rather than physical. You're still, and I know it's going to take, you sitting with yourself. I know you're still on this live, but you're saying we need to teach others. We're not teachers though. We already all know how to do it. You have to approach this with a perspective of remembering. That's much more, again, you're talking about power. That's putting much more so-called power into you to manifest. When you say all I need to do is remember, then I don't have a clue, because that's not what the soul is. It's all knowing. So it's taking all the facts that you do know and aligning yourself with that. That's manifestation. It's just alignment. The stars, the planets that we see at night, they're aligning. And that's why they're coming closer and closer and closer and closer together, because it's all about alignment. What our cells do is literally what happens in the cosmos on a every so-called day basis. But we have to take time to slow things down to be able to see it within our reality, because that's ether. That's being able to tap into energy. That's being able to do whatever, whenever. That's the power. You got to go within you first before you could even teach so-called anybody.
And this system was built on your planet. This system is very small because this planet is very big, and there's a lot of land masses they didn't even tell you about with our people on it. You see what I'm saying? So all they're doing is just lying to you, and that lie is information. They're spreading misinformation, which gives them the power. So this is why I said earlier, the power is in information. You see what I'm saying? So that's all it is. You see what I'm saying? You can't be scared on your own planet. And imagine if you know about this, you will want to wake up more brothers and sisters about this. So they can feel how you feel on their planet. And we can move and have a global civilization again. This is how we get back to what we need to do. Because the only thing they did was add antigens to your blood. The only thing they did was uh, influence. That's the only thing. They didn't use no superpowers, no big weapons to do this. They didn't do that. They just added antigens to your blood. That's it.
And that left you chemically imbalanced. And we're just telling you, get more in balance with yourself. How do you do that? You have to go, isn't it inside of you? So you have to go within to get it out. You're not going to go get something outside of you to fix a problem that's happening on the inside. It's about switching your perspective. And that's the first thing you have to do, is realize that you're participating in your own destruction. When you work, you're participating in your own destruction, and that job is built off of your own genocide. Excuse
Yes.
me, F1.
100% of jobs are built on that.
So
100%.
Can I ask a question? Like, do any like what do y'all do? Like, do any of y'all work? Like,
I wake my people up every single day. No, I work for the universe
uh,
to impress my subconscious mind every single day. For it took me a few months. I've really been on a journey for like 6 or 7 years.
uh,
But it's as far as slowing it down, because I was just turning my wheels and I didn't know what I was doing until I slowed things down, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is easier than I thought. I started small and I went big.
uh.
Once
So,
I started realizing, I was at work and manifested something within 15 minutes at my desk. I was like, fuck this. I already got it. It's no point in me being here. And I knew then. That's when I began to know. And so boom, I manifested not having the job and being self-sufficient. That's the same thing me and the host did. It's
so
not, yeah, go ahead. My
do you
bad.
live like off grid or something?
No.
Like, would you live in a city
Yeah.
and you don't have to pay no rent?
It's not about paying, but I'm not having to work to do it, is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay. So how do you earn your money? Where do it come from?
The universe, currency,
So
understanding.
you manifest it basically.
Absolutely.
So when you manifesting, right? Like you meditate and then you look within, and then do the money like appear to
Haven't
you?
sat within yet, so you don't know even know what
No,
you're.
it's not about
I'm
money.
just asking her a
I get
question.
it.
Because he
I
asked her
get it.
about
He's in a
work.
different frequency. He's in a different frequency, and I understand the question.
I'm just
It's
asking
not.
a question.
Yeah, yeah. It's not about money, and I had to. That honestly, I'm gonna have to do a video about that. It is not about money, and it wasn't until I shifted my focus from money to where I was able to manifest. The whole time I was trying to manifest money, and it never worked because it's not about money. When you have to train your mind, or at least for me, I train my mind to focus on abundance. I train my mind to focus that I don't need money. Like the thing that I want can come to me. I don't need money to get that.
Okay.
That's why I mean slowing things down and switching your perspective. Like I can manifest the house. Fuck the money.
Can I
Like the
talk to
money
him?
is fake.
Okay, let me ask you this then, right? Because y'all are teaching me, right? Because a lot of people will have a question. They'll say, okay, well, how do you just slow everything down when you have to pay for that? But you say that you don't have to pay for anything, and you basically live free because you don't vibrate at a high level, and you don't have to even engage into the system. Correct?
No, but I understand what you're saying. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is, like, you say that you don't get money, but then you say you pay. So I'm just asking, like, how do you
Can
get
I
yourself?
speak to him
Wait,
so I can explain to him from this?
one second.
I'm
How
just
you get
talking.
yourself in a position, and you live in the city, right?
Because
We
I
all know
didn't
that.
attract money.
I
I
know that.
have money, but that's not what I set my intention on.
But where do you?
You're not in charge of how it happens. Your goal is the outcome. That's what you focus on. So I didn't
How you
focus on.
sustain yourself?
I'm answering it. I did not focus on money. Although money might have came or presented itself, money is not the
There you
only thing
go.
that
Talk
comes
to
to
him.
me. Yeah, and so
I get that.
I just ended up with money, but I didn't focus on money.
Can I please talk to you, Jay? So check it out, brother. You have workers. That's a 9 to 5 hustle. Then you have real hustlers that can do it without a job. See, you got something in you called fear, which is an emotion, and it's like triggered and it's guiding you, bro. So if you can hustle, that means you're gonna get it regardless. You're gonna find a way. You can't just depend on a 9 to 5 job because the ones without the jobs is still making a way. The money is always gonna come, but you just gotta make a way yourself. It's always something that you could do that will give you 24 hours a day to yourself. You got all of this time, but you got to develop the free time. You can't play the video game and think you're going to be able to focus on changing your life. You can't have your cake and eat it too. The balance is when you focus solely on yourself, and then you're going to have all the time that you need to figure it out. You can't have no fear though. You can't be scared. If you think you're going to be broke, homeless people still surviving. The goal is not to get rich, it's to survive. So understand that you have everything you need around you, and you're going to find a way. You get like 60% of your
That's why
energy
I
from
didn't
the
want
sun.
nobody to cut me off, because it's not even about survival.
Facts. It's not about
Survive.
that.
You're not. You're. This is y'all's planet, brother. You built the planet. How the fuck are you just surviving here when it's your planet? When you train your mind for abundance, fuck survival mode. That's what you in right now. That's why I say don't cut nobody off, because that's not what the fuck I'm saying respectfully. I'm speaking my frequency.
I'm
You got to
talking to
speak
him,
yours.
asking him about what
No,
he responded to about how you how you make
Alright,
a living.
we got you. But we gotta real. What the whole thing is that we are the currency, and that you making that mental switch is it's as fast as it's as fast as the speed of light. That's how fast you can change your vibration within yourself, and you gotta hold on to your vibrate to that vibration. You can't hold. You can't just think that, and then once, and then the next second you go eat a ramen noodles or you go eat a burger. You gotta stay in that vibration. That's what she's saying. That's what she's saying. But y'all not letting her finish. She trying to finish so she can communicate to the other brother what this shit is about. But
But go ahead and finish what you were saying.
Oh, y'all waiting on me? Why? I already said everything I had to say.
all right, go
I'm
ahead, Jay.
not, every time
Man,
I
Jay,
speak,
man,
like,
say.
this shit
I
lame,
would
bro.
like to add on. Yo, I would like to add on, if that's okay, real fast.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um, what the sister is saying, is totally correct, and it goes right back to what we were saying earlier. It starts from within. You could you could manifest whatever the hell you want. I a huge jolt of energy. I just was calling in energy to my body where I was standing on this planet in the position where I was at the time. It was raining and lightning bolt just came out of nowhere. Boom, shook the earth. It was like a Dragon Ball Z type of thing. You ever watch Dragon Ball Z? You honing in the energy like you're about to turn Super Saiyan or something. That's how it felt. And I was in a meditative state when I pulled that off. Now bring it back to currency, right? Because currency is energy flow, right? It's no different than that lightning bolt coming out of nowhere and striking. Well, excuse my language, it came out of the ethers. It didn't just come out of nowhere. You have to cut off that fear, um, that fear state of mind and that survival state of mind. She's absolutely right. Currency is flowing all around us. The water, the trees, so many various forms of energy and currency flowing. Your melanin, right? Your melanocyte vibrates so fast that it is able to cause you to do all of these amazing things, do all of this martial arts and deep meditation and manifestation, where the other troglodytes and stuff, the ones barely walking upright, just figured out how to wear underwear 800 years ago. They their melanin does not vibrate on that level, right? So they cannot do what you do. That brings it back to the species and stuff like that. So they're trying to cut you off from being able to tap into the ability to produce currency, right? With um, fear and survival mode, and having you on the wrong timeline. You're not even speaking the right frequency because you're on the wrong timeline. That's a whole nother topic in of itself, the timeline, right? But change the way you think, change your frequency, and try not to be fearful. You can change all of that by going into your meditation, practicing ma'at. And there's other names for it. Ma'at is my main practice, but Lucy of the Igbo, they teach um, a similar principle. Allah, right? Allah is balance and stuff, just like Ma'at, the womb which we come from, right? So when you tap into these spiritual systems, it poetically shows you who you are and what your capabilities are. That's why it's important to study our ancient theological systems and stuff. right? So yeah, you can tap in, change your currency. There's money rituals you could do. I did a Mansa Musa ritual, a Mansa Musa money ritual, deep, powerful ritual. And man, when I say money start flowing to me like crazy, man, but it all started from within. It's messages that you gotta be able to read from within your own eyes to see what the ethers and the spirit your ancestors are trying to show you. You dig? Your purpose was already here before you got into your body.
He left. Yeah,
Oh.
he already left. So like, yeah, as soon as you started, like after your second or third sentence, he was done. He was already left. That's why, like, I don't be like once I see that the person is not actually receiving the message, then
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? I'm not gonna keep.
Yeah, that's too bad, Queen, because um, it's like Malcolm X. Hell, Malcolm X had to change his whole vibration.
He
And
right
and
there. He's
yeah, one thing that I love that relates to this topic that Malcolm X once said, he said, only a fool lets his enemy teach his children. I land my plane.
facts, brother. Facts. Um, Ether and HTE. Did y'all want to add anything else? My brother Ether didn't speak for a while. Go ahead.
I would just say, I appreciate y'all for what y'all said up there about the whole changing your mindset to abundance rather than on something that's not real, like money. You feel what I'm saying? I appreciate that for sure.
Yeah, abundance, brother. Facts. That's what it for me. Spirituality, my journey shifted. I'm talking about within the same day. I wasn't even the same person no more because it's about. I always knew it was about the perspective, so I always shifted my perspective. But for me, the sweet spot was abundance because how else could you shift your frequency if you're not focusing on the highest vibrations? You see what I'm saying? You have to focus on gratitude was my thing. Like you can even I wish you know how like the lives only say for like 30 days and then they delete. I wish we had the lives from May, June, July, nigga, last year. It was straight spiritual gems. Like if I were to pull up the lives from this time last year, like a little bit before where I am now, this I was telling Aya down in the comments, Denzel like wasn't even here. Like we together now, we weren't. It's manifestation though. The same thing I was saying in those lives months ago, like, oh, I'm manifesting this, boom. Now I'm telling y'all manifestation. Like the same thing that I was telling people, they're not in the room now. They were asking me just like the brother, I was manifesting it then. But I was being the example. I was still seeing little things come into manifestation, but I wasn't aware of how. So now I'm able to articulate you have to shift your frequency even when you're like I say on my shift your frequency video. I that happens mentally. It's nothing outside of you that you have to do. You know what I'm saying? And that changed my life once I understood that. What are you meditating on though? You know what I'm saying? Because you don't need a dark room or a closet to meditate. You know what I'm saying? You could be in a room, everybody is being extremely loud, but you being able to concentrate and focus is meditation. You can't say, "Oh, everybody stop being quiet so I can meditate." No, because that's not controlling your reality. So I would say if you so-called can't do it, practice it. That's exactly what I did. I used to put myself in certain situations so that I could get myself out spiritually. Then I can go back and be like, okay, I'm not gonna do that again. I'm not gonna cuss her out this time. I'm not gonna throw anything. This is real shit. I'm not gonna throw anything this time. Next time I might just cuss because I started understanding I have to start slowing down my reactions, switching it, and understanding that maybe like annoyance is a better vibration to be in than being furious. It's not about going from 0 to 100. Can you make small incremental amounts of change within your frequency now?
Alchemy.
Alchemy. Boom. That's it.
It's just internal alchemy.
I had to slow everything down. Like this time, next time I'm not gonna react like that. And I meant that. That means that those days in between, I worked on that. That's what we mean inner, doing the inner work.
Learning to be real with yourself.
Facts, authenticity.
Because if you ain't real with yourself, you ain't gonna be real with nobody else. And you're gonna be always asking everybody else about who you are and what you need to do, instead of sitting with that voice that talks to you all day. Every day is always there, just talking to you, letting you know what is this, what is that. But how are you dissecting it? How are you decoding it? That's all it is. And we need to be able to do that at an efficient level so we can be able to pass down the power or information to the next generation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, brother. Oh,
Yeah,
my
brother.
bad. I didn't know if that was all yet. My bad, because I started talking again. My bad.
Who's next?
I was trying to see, is Ether done?
Hey, oh
Yeah,
y'all did abundance. I appreciate that.
abundance, you brother, abundance. And okay, go ahead, man, say Jay, and then we'll go back to the mother.
Oh, I was gonna speak to him.
Yeah, we got you next after that.
Yeah, my bad, y'all. My the connection had dropped. Had got in the car. Had to go somewhere. But y'all, I'm listening. I'm listening. But y'all talk, and when I get to a position where I can be, concentrating and stuff, I'll be talking to y'all.
All right, man, I got you. Go ahead, mother.
Yeah, when you were speaking about the voice speaking and speaking, but no one is listening. Even with truth coming out, whether it comes from observation, whether it comes from the little child, whether no one is listening. You know what I'm saying? Because even though they want to say it's the noise from the world, no, it's not. It's the noise of their minds. Like, like people have to first cleanse the mind, meaning a lot of people done some stuff that is not good, like whether it was against a brother, sister, friend, whoever. Like some people, according to how they is, like they got spiteful people. They got you see, those are those spirits that we got to get rid of. Oh, that nigga did me something, I'ma do him something back. Oh yeah, she cut me off and embarrassed me. Embarrassment. All kind of there's so many negative spirits out, what they call emotions, I guess, or offense. I don't know what they call it. But when you in your higher self, right? That's what you got to exemplify. Like, I don't know whoever made themselves taller than the trees and in their spiritual being, because you can, like spiritually you can just close your eyes, go in, and I don't know who used to dream they flew. I don't know, but you do. You know what I'm saying? So we got to study ourselves. You see, when you're around people, it's not to learn them, it's to learn about you. That's what I do. I'm just sharing how uh I guess I'm 62. How I got to the knowledge where I'm at. I didn't really do fictional stuff. Like what I read was nonfiction, first of all. Cause you had the Zane and the chocolate factories and all that type of stuff that bombards our people's minds. You have our women that's plotting and scheming on our brothers. Well, is she going, what for what? And how she gonna do it? And maybe she cheating on her man, so she got to do it like this or that. Or we got all of that going on. You understand what I'm saying? You got the chemically dependent. You got the ones that may be like both. So you got all kind of guilt, all kind of deception going on, that people is not being real with themselves, and the ones that are is who take this to heart. But I want to tell the ones who are that, remember, it's only a remnant. We came to do what we are doing, and that's why we're doing it. But you can't save everyone. You know? So I don't want you all to be hard on yourself because it gets like that. You'd even start crying when you're by yourself and wanting to ask questions to the universe. Go ahead, because your answers is going to come. And that's how it happened. That very same small voice that y'all hearing that no one is even trying to say, let me see. Let me get up and do what it said to do. They drowned that. I don't hear that shit. I'm gonna go smoke this crack. I'm gonna go drink this Henny. I'm gonna go this bit. I'm gonna go. It's all about what they done killed. They done killed that conscious voice, and it's all about them, what they want to do.
Hold on, mother. We gotta
F1
do
like
F1 right quick. You ain't been on live in a minute, I can tell. Cause you used to be real good at this, mother. Now we getting beside her.
but we feel you though,
We
brother.
feel you.
Abundance for that.
You speaking
Like,
that real. That's you
uh-huh.
see what I'm saying? You speaking that real.
Just sharing how to get to that part because we magical. We could make things appear that's not even there for your use. I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? We magical, and learning that voice that you was speaking of, that's the voice that make it happen, and it's always there, always within us, always. There's no time. It's just how we doing what we doing. I kid you not. One time, somebody sent me some Western Union. Fucking Western Union people was giving me hell. And you know what I did? Instead of arguing with them, I went silent. And I said to myself, inside myself, I said, she's being mean to me for whatever reason, but I hope she realizes herself and give me my money. And when I turned to leave, she said, oh, come here, and gave me my fucking money.
It'd be like that. We were trying to give the dog away, and we went to the place, right? And the YT lady, she gonna try to block the door and saying we can't come in. No, we're closed. It was 12 p.m. y'all during the day. Yeah, we're closed. We're closed. I said okay. Walked away. I didn't physically say okay, but I was just like, okay, she wanna be like that. So I just walked away, right? She gonna be like, what can we help you with? I said, why are you gonna ask me when you
For
just,
real.
you know what I'm saying? We was like, what the fuck? You just didn't even let me speak. But then it was a white T man right there. They was giving him a dog and shit like that. They all, you know what I'm saying, smiles, giggles, and peaches and shit. Yeah. Like I said, but I understand these people's psyche. You see what I'm saying? I don't get triggered by them like how I used to, because after too much, I'm asking them their biological identification. Like, you see what I'm saying? I don't let people police me on my planet. I'm pulling out the genetic book. Fuck a license registration and shit.
Yeah, fact. The genetics books for real.
Deadass.
Like,
Shit,
how did
how
y'all
you gonna ask
like?
me for my ID? Here, according to niggas in your haplogroup that's writing this, there is no biological identification that you have. Fuck, them niggas get
According
And
it.
according to genetics, you're a virus.
Them niggas get it.
and
Like,
It's like, what
in
the fuck
law,
you gonna expect?
in law, that's not an identification. Birth certificate and license and stuff. That's not an identification by law. I'm gonna get the law for you right now. I ain't got it all right now, but
According to universal law, it ain't real. You see what I'm saying? According to the laws of the universe, which is what y'all are really enforcing for real, which is what's really real. This ain't no identification for real. You trying to
exactly.
police me on a planet that I share identification with, and you don't.
And whole time your integumentary system deteriorates under the sun. Your body rejects the sun, and you're trying to tell me what to do under the same sun that is deteriorating you, that is biologically the same as me. That's the thing. Once we understand science, we just got to know the universal laws. That's it. Once we know the universal laws, there is no laws, these man-made laws that is above that, because the universal law is comes straight from the universe, the most powerful woman in the whole cosmos. You see what I'm saying? The best alchemizer in the whole cosmos. This is what it is. So that's the law. That's the only law our people should know. Is those laws. So abundance of that. What's it called? Does anybody want to add anything, or unless Jay he found a good place or a good environment to speak?
I don't know. Jay wanted to speak.
Mm,
Yeah, he said
okay.
that he was
Yo,
probably busy. Go
yo, I
Okay.
ahead.
add a little something right quick.
Go ahead, bro.
This whole frequency, I give thanks, and wish for this to continue on and on and on, because we gotta wake up our people, and some of them don't want to be awakened, and that's fine. They choose the blue pill to stay in the so-called matrix, the patrix. Um, but the thing is, we have to elevate the entire planet of, specifically our people, because man, we gotta be walking in our godhood, that God body, so-called God body, right? Because man, when I hear people that's doing it, living in what some people call ma'at, right? It's coming out your voice. It is. You don't even have to speak. The vibration is so strong that you know this person is on their God body. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like she just said, man, question these Neanderthals, man. Ask for their biological identification, because I'm on my God timing. You can't question me. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was once upon a time where um, the original man and original woman, coming straight out of the primordial waters and the primordial fires, when we interacted with this multiverse and this atmosphere on this earth when it was still very young, our melanin, our neuromelanin, interacted with such a vibration, with our melanocytes, right? That we were able to change color with the atmosphere and the temperature and stuff with the atmosphere. And we're also able to do that through meditation. Once again, our skin was changing like blue, blackish green, blackish red, so on and so forth, or deep blues and greens, right? And we see that, you know, our ancestors left us the evidence. Like, you have blue gods, deities, green gods and deities, and red gods and deities. It's not just um, it's not just BS, right? When babies are born into this world, our babies in particular, you could look at the bottom of their spine on their back, and you could see that green chlorophyll looking melanin forming like spots. You know, um, they used to call it Mongolian birthmark. Uh, but yeah, these babies, they have that. And it be all up and down their spine, especially on the lower part of their spine. Um, Deep green, green in the skin. So one of my spiritual teachers taught me, eat so that your face will be like Usard, or what some call Wisard, or what the Greeks call Osiris, that green face. You dig what I'm saying? There was once upon a time in ancient Kemet where the Nubian Kushites were vibrating so high, they was like, nah, we gonna arrest you if they was like, nah, we gonna arrest you if you eat some meat. We not even on that type of vibration, that type of timing. We don't want nobody eating meat. It wasn't until later on you start to see some pescatarianism going on and stuff like that. Hell, there's once upon a time where we was consuming air and sunlight, and you could look at the fecal matter studies of the ancient Nubian Kushites, and you can see that their main diet was plant based. Mainly when the Romans and the Greeks came in, especially during the Ptolemaic period, right after the Nubian dynasties, way after the Nubian Kushite dynasties. That's when you start to see the pescatarian diet come in, and people starting to eat meat and stuff like that. So, yeah, when we understand, when we put the history together from our story, and we figure out the mystery, and we study the science and the original theology and stuff, that's when we start to realize we could put the pieces of the puzzles together, and walk in our God body, and balance the scales, like the sister was saying earlier, um, having that feather weighing on the scale very lightly, and your heart weighing very lightly, because you can feel it when your heart light. When your heart is light and the kundalini is rising up your spine and it explodes into your first eye, man, you high as a kite. You don't need no drugs out here, man. Get in your meditation. You know how high you'll feel? You know how godly you'll feel? Yeah, let's raise the consciousness. Peace and abundance, man. Give thanks, man. All praises. Keep raising the vibration. It's God body timing.
I feel what you're saying, brother. Abundance for that, brother. Thank you for sharing your frequency. And we really got to move away from calling each other gods and goddesses and stuff like that, because that's all stems from the dogmatic people or the eukaryotic species that we be talking about. We're just the divine beings of life. You see what I'm saying? That's what we are. We're angelic beings, angels of light. See what I'm saying? But I feel what you're saying, though. Abundance for that. Thank you for sharing that. Hope everybody's been hearing that. And that's what this live has been about, is that we're not the same species. You see what I'm saying? And we're not grasping that these people are not natural to the planet. Everything that they have was given to them by beings that created them. And those beings are not even more intelligent than us. They're doing all of this because they're scared of us. So this is what we're saying. When we walk in that truth, that's what they're scared of. That's why the biggest thing they hid from us was our identity. That's it. And our identity lies within. So if we're scared to go within, how are we gonna move forward? How are we gonna make calculus decisions? How are we gonna get in and out of situations spiritually and physically? It just doesn't make sense. People just want to jump on to already doing all of these, but they don't want to put in the work. You don't want to put in that work. And you don't know that putting in that work doesn't just help you, it helps the children after you. Because you putting in that work is you being an example. You see what I'm saying? It's all about being an example. So it's like when y'all come up here, y'all are just grown children making excuses. That's what it is. Y'all making excuses. We're making excuses for why 8 million children are going missing. We're making excuses for why we sending 25 million of our children to get psychologically and medically evaluated for this. We're making excuses. And these are the same people who believe that God is going to come save them. So they're going to skip the children and come save you. See what I'm saying? These people are not thinking. It's not making sense. So I really hope people grasp what this live was about. It's about genetics, children, and the sun. And all of that can exist because of our woman, our divine mother of life, mother of energy. And if we're not reminding her, especially who she is, then we will never be in balance. You see what I'm saying? So this was a good live. I appreciate everybody who came on the panel and shared their frequency. That was amazing. I hope everybody really got the message, because we say we get the message, and then the things we talk about outside of this our lives, we start talking about other shit that doesn't pertain to the development and growth of our species. So let's start thinking about that, and then you'll see where your reality formally how it's supposed to be. All you got to do is operate in your genetics, and your reality will open up like doors. It will just open up. So abundance and gratitude. The number one rule in the cosmos is know thyself, and the transmission.